Hello and welcome to the Redeye stream. Last night's stream was taken down not due to technical difficulties, it was due to YouTube. I guess we violated some terms of service that I didn't know existed. You're suddenly not allowed to talk about a certain WO event that happened about 25 years ago. It's really weird. We're going to talk about that a little bit, and we're going to talk about Americans finally being Americans. That's right, naysayers, fear-mongers. Hey, we're America, and we're standing up again. Get bent. Welcome to the Redeye stream. So, I'm joined by Frank and Doku. Exiled Opinion is in the house. What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Chilling.
Been a while since I've been on your stream, man. Been a while since we started, since we fucking abandoned ship on Picard, quite literally.
Well, that's kind of true, and then I also went to Louisiana, so that kind of hindered. So,
Dude, you went to Louisiana, and that was the break I needed to get away from that shit. It was like an abusive relationship I kept coming back to.
I'm not watching Star Trek Picard. I refuse.
As a big fuck you to CBS, I encourage everyone to go download everything Star Trek, including the two newest shows, just to fucking piss them off. Hey, Brian, how's it going? He says he's a real American. I am the real American. Fight for the rights of every man.
Well, no, and here's the thing. We are rising up in protest in 12 states, I believe. There are, you had said that.
That's what I counted so far. That's what I'd counted so far. There could be more. So we have, for a fact, we know, and these are the ones that I know off the top of my head. I'm going to be missing a few. We have Michigan. We have Illinois. We have Pennsylvania. We have Virginia. We've got Arizona. That's 5 so far. We've got Wisconsin. That's 6. And those are the ones that I know of, and I know that there are more. But there is there's a new ABC article out that I want to read real quick because I did find this. That I do want to read real quick and just plow through because it's very relevant to what we're talking about. So Barr is warning against states not going to, just telling them, hey, ease up on your stay-at-home restrictions. This stay-at-home shit, you got to ease up. You got to be chill about this. Otherwise, we're bringing the thunder. So the article goes, Attorney General Bill Barr, in a new interview on Tuesday, characterized some stay-at-home restrictions amid the pandemic as disturbingly close to house arrest, and said the Justice Department will consider legal action if governors start to take restrictions on movement and civil liberties too far. These are unprecedented burdens on civil liberties right now. The idea that you have to stay in your house is disturbingly close to house arrest, Barr told conservative radio host Hugh Hewitt. I'm not saying it wasn't justified. I'm not saying in some places it might still be justified. So they're already poisoning the well by by labeling the radio host conservative. That's already poisoning the well. So we have to take this article with a grain of salt. That's all I want to point out here is take it with a grain of salt. In the interview, Barr also lavished praise on President Donald Trump's handling of the crisis and cautioned that the department would be watching governors who don't follow the latest federal guidance on phased reopenings for certain parts of the economy. I think the president's guidance has been, as I say, superb and commonsensical. And I think a lot of the governors are following that, Barr said. And to the extent that the governors don't and impugn? They may have fucked that up. On either civil rights or on the national commerce, our common market that we have here, and then we'll have to address that. So right there, what he's saying for the layman is that if these states are going too far, we have to talk to them. We have to say, hey, back down. The article continues. Trump has encouraged protests against stay-at-home restrictions in Michigan, Virginia, Wisconsin, among other states, saying residents had been treated rough. there's some fact checking here. Trump has not encouraged those protests. He has merely stated that the people are taking to the streets because they're tired of this shit. Right?
And we need to point out semantics and nomenclature is important, especially when reviewing articles that you already know, as you pointed out, are going to have a certain slant. Support and encourage are two completely different things.
Correct. When you encourage something, you're actively going out of your way to say, "Hey guys, get up and do it." If I knew about these protests going forward, you guarantee I would show up. Then you have these asshats on The View and other outlets saying, "Oh, well, why are they carrying their guns?" Because a gun is a symbol of American freedom. It is the one thing that we know that we can use to protect our civil liberties. Therefore, the guns that we have are icons of the freedom enshrined to us by the mere virtue of having been born human fucking beings, right? That's what the First Amendment protects, or the Second Amendment protects. The Second Amendment protects all other amendments so that we can just fucking survive, that we can just live. And then you have these assholes, hang on, you have these assholes on The View talking about, oh, well, they shouldn't be carrying guns. No, these are, this is iconography. This is a symbol that we the people own the fucking country. We the people pay the taxes, pay the taxes that pay these politicians' salaries. We the people pay these fucking elites, right? These people who are on these TV shows and in movies and in everything else. You know, all of our entertainment and all of our sports and all of this and all of that and the other thing. We, the common man, drive every fucking thing in this country, and those firearms help us project that. We want the government to be scared of us because we pay their checks. We pay their fucking their rent.
Well, no, I totally understand what you're saying. And
Yeah.
The thing is, it's about control. It's about controlling the masses and seeing how far you could push it. I was watching Lionel Nation earlier, and the title of his stream was "America in Revolt." We are. This is one step from the Whiskey Rebellion. This is 3 steps from the Boston Massacre. We are there, people. Keep pushing us. Keep it up. You're not going to like the outcome.
Not at all.
I like that Shandor brought this up because I had actually I commented on someone, I forgot who, someone who's an author, but she was talking about gun control and restrictions on the Second Amendment, and there's a very I believe this is a valid point. If I get anything wrong, I'm willing to debate and push back, but anybody who hasn't been indoctrinated since kindergarten, we know what this is about. It's not about public safety. It's about increasing your reliance upon government while also mitigating your ability to protect life and property.
Which is what brings me to what I wanted to talk about as we were going live, or before we went live, and that is there is a push right now from companies they're forcing their employees to wear masks right now, infringing on your right to choose. We have gone this far, right? We've gone this far since what? Fucking April, end of May, or end of March, right? And start of March, fucking early March. We started getting lockdown orders in each state, and Wisconsin just said, you know, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this, and even in our state, this shit keeps getting pushed back longer and longer. This state, we just had another fucking extension to the 26th. We were supposed to open up like next week, and it got fucking bumped up like another 30 fucking days almost.
Well, didn't your governor say that they wanted to extend it to like 2020 or some shit?
The governor is fucking. You know how these asshats are. They want to fucking stay in power. They want to stay in control, and they're going to do everything they can to do that. But the problem is now you have policy being made at a corporate level, right? These stores are dictating what you can and can't do. They want to enforce the mask thing. Well, okay, fine. That's well and good and all, but you should have done this fucking months ago if you wanted to enforce something. Now this is nothing more than power trip porn.
Well, it wasn't. Was it either New Mexico, Nevada, or Arizona? It was one of those 3 states. But there's a guy who's an ex-Microsoft employee who's now a politician, and he was like on their board of directors, or maybe he was in a chief of something. I forget. But he was high up in Microsoft, and he was talking about implementing like essentially a CCP style social credit system regarding you having to get the vaccination that is given to you so kindly by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and also carry around paperwork that would essentially limit your ability to do business and commerce, or even just engage in consumerism if you have not had the vaccination under the guise of, well, you're a public health risk. If that's not authoritarianism, I don't know what the hell is.
Oh, it's fascism light. They're trying to go for fascism light right now to get people to accept fascistic
policies.
Fascism, fascism full, like the full flavor, the original flavor.
Well, they're also trying to normalize it.
Right. That's kind of what I meant.
Well, did you see what Chuck Schumer had said earlier about the United States Postal Service?
Unfortunately.
The United States Postal Service deserves our money and this and that, and we need to support them. And then
I agree to an extent, but they should never have fucking taken contracts from fucking Amazon and shit where they're getting their ass reamed.
Well, that's not even the point I'm going for, because right at the end of his statement, and it is the last statement in the first paragraph, he says, we need to ensure the integrity of our 2020 elections. He's already trying to normalize the idea of vote by mail. And this is, again, a soft suggestion that vote by mail is, a thing. It's a normal thing. No, it's not. It's not. But they're trying to normalize that idea to the American public, so when they do push it, they're already accepting of the idea. This is basic re-education brainwashing 101. You take an idea that the public at large is not okay with, they're not familiar with, and you try to make it the quote new normal. So that when people hear about it, they're already accepting of the idea and will go along with it, even though that is not the policy at large currently. I mean, it's not a subtle tactic if you're paying attention to what they're trying to do, but it is clever.
I just went on a whole fucking rant and I forgot why I even came on tonight. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, I want to get Dodge's reaction to this, because this does tie into what we're talking about. So there was a hot mic at a White House press briefing before it started earlier. And what these journalists were talking about is, well, journalist, I say that with
content.
A little bit. But what they were saying is that, according to the rumor mill, or according to new information or newfound sources, that it looks like California might have been fudging their numbers, and they actually had closer to around 300,000 to 400,000 COVID cases, but they're not reporting on it, because you know what that means? It means the mortality rate actually falls in line with the 0.01 to 0.03 mortality rate. But you can't report on the mortality rate being that low, let alone report on the recovery rate, because that will make this whole power grab light testing, that will make this whole light testing power grab.
That's why I wanted
takes away the justification.
That's what I wanted to circle back to with this whole fucking forcing your employees to do the mask thing. It's because they know, and I was told by my union rep, not specifically, but my union rep said it doesn't have to be a medical mask. It can be a shirt, it could be a scarf, it could be a anything that covers your face for the optics. And that's what was told to me specifically, which tells me, right? And this is any rational human being thinking the same way. This isn't about the mask. This is about something else. This isn't about safety. This is about something else.
Yeah, and it very much is about the optics because, I mean, from a business perspective, you think about it this way. If people are going to be more comfortable doing business, especially considering how overhyped this entire situation is. I mean, we have Dr. Bricks admitting to that already, that you could die in a freaking car crash, but if you test positive for COVID, we're going to count it as a COVID death.
Even if you don't, they're still counting it.
Yeah,
in,
no,
in a
and
lot of...
no, it's funny. I was arguing with somebody yesterday about that, and they're like, "How do you know?" I'm like, because they fucking said it themselves.
The information is out
I
there.
have their words. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how I
literally.
know. They don't care anymore. They're telling us.
They're giving you the playbook and expecting you not to fucking read it.
Oh, exactly. They're expecting you to not put two and two together. And, here's the puzzle pieces, guys. Fudging the numbers, high recovery rate, fairly low mortality rate, right along, as we've been saying before, right along the same mortality rate as the flu, which usually
It
affects...
of makes me wonder why the mortality rate in China was 21 million.
Again, because they're not reporting on it honestly. They're just lumping everything together. And then you combine that with what the media has been doing, and then look at what the governors have been doing as far as restricting our rights. No, this whole thing is an excuse.
Well, no,
real quick, Dodge, real quick. Go back all the way, Bill Maher said it himself, go back all the way to 2016, 2017. And it's not just Bill Maher, but it's been people in the media and pundits this entire time of the 45 presidency. They've been looking for an excuse to try to do something like this. You want to know why? Because they're afraid of losing power. Why do you think they want to restrict your rights so much? Why do you think they're fear-mongering like this? Do you really think the media is honest? Do you not think that they're just a propaganda wing that is there to try to manipulate what you think? We already pointed it out earlier in the stream, if you're just joining us now. Semantics is important. Support is not the same thing as encouragement. When you have Maxine Waters going and saying, you go out there and you form a crowd, that's not the same thing as saying, oh, good on the protesters for actually standing up for their civil rights and liberties. They are two completely different things, and it's important to point that out, because the media will conveniently and intentionally change words or word things in a certain way that's supposed to lead you to think something, kind of like the Chuck Schumer tweet I brought up. They're trying to normalize a different lifestyle, a new way of life, and it's done because they do not want you to ever question authority. It's that simple. The puzzle pieces are not hard to put together.
Okay.
And if anybody disagrees with me, I will happily debate you on this subject.
Well, no.
Ain't Jack says...
Go ahead.
Sorry, I want to read this chat from Ain't Jack. He said, in China it was much higher due to the system being overwhelmed. If we had a flu that was as virulent, you would have had a much higher death rate due to overwhelming the system. That does sound feasible. It sounds feasible because China just doesn't... The government of China doesn't give a shit about its citizens. And I will stand by my... my theory that they let it go to quash the fucking Hong Kong protests that were going on. Go ahead,
also,
Dodge,
something
I'm sorry.
Important. Well, real quick, something important to point out, just because you brought up China. Does anyone remember that they restricted all domestic travel from the city of Wuhan, but not international travel? That should kind of tell you where the Chinese government mindset is.
No, immigration is on the table. We'll get to that. No, you're right. But the problem is the government using the epidemic as the bludgeon to beat us over the head with. That way they can overreach their own power, grow it, and never give it back. Now they have the ability to ground you to your room, Doku. Aren't you a grown-ass man? They could take your job, rob your bank account, ground you to your room, and send you a little bit of money when they get around to it. Does
Well,
that
let's
sound
talk about
okay?
let's talk about the economic and no, I don't agree that it sounds okay. I've always thought of it like that, and I'm glad someone else does, because it does seem like they're just trying to put you in your room, especially when you have these protests going on, and especially when you have fucking Tony Evers, our governor here in Wisconsin, saying, "Oh well, if you're going out and protesting, I have no choice but to extend the fucking stay-at-home order."
That's
Yeah,
what my
thanks.
governor is trying to say too, and she can get fucked.
Right.
Well, the other thing to point out here, because it does
Hang on.
it does
hang on.
support. Okay, go ahead.
But largely, the man, you made me fucking forget. Go ahead.
Well, because this does support your argument. You know, when what was it? Kentucky, I think it was, where all the people who wanted to do the drive-in church service, well, they're getting fined and ticketed, and then a few days later, they're following up with they want doctors. If you test positive, they want you not just to report the address, but also the name of the individual to the police department, because you're a quote public health risk.
Yeah, no, and don't get me started on Queen Whitmer or Whitner or whatever the fuck that queen's name is.
Governor of Michigan.
Yeah, Whitmer.
Yeah, Whitmer.
No, do not call her governor anymore. She is the crown.
Anytime,
she's queen.
Any one of these fucking governors who extends the stay-at-home order is out. They are fucking done. They have committed political suicide. They will not be elected to any office after this. I fucking promise you. Every single governor that opened up has just earned a seat in the White House. Any one of them is the potential president.
Who was the one jack off that said Donald Trump can name his son Baron, but he can't make him a Baron? Well, you guys just elected yourselves kings and queens. Pot meet kettle much?
Hey, no, real
projection?
Quick, I gotta address the chat. Hey, memes. That's the second thing you've thrown at me, and I haven't even addressed you. I'm not MC. I don't just throw you under the bus every chance I get. But if you want to go into Redeye's stream in Discord, I will gladly throw you under the bus with you right in front of me. Hey, the nice Mad Dodge died yesterday. So come on in, buddy.
Wow. Dodge, it sounds like you're getting upset at memes there.
No, I'm getting upset at the whole entire world. I'm done. Anybody wants to throw some shade, I'm throwing it right back. It's on now. Gloves are off.
Oh shit. Here, I was just gonna leave the condom off, but we're talking gloves now. Let's do it.
Going raw dog?
But I do not know what my congressperson said, because they're probably a dumbass Democrat, and fuck them. I really don't care. Okay, I live in the state where the Republican representatives had to literally run and hide in the hills because the governor was going to arrest them. Are you kidding me? Like, do you think I want to follow state fucking politics? I would have already wigged out.
Fucking bug out, man. Get your fucking bag and your fucking food supplies and your fucking your tent and just fucking go.
Well, again, and kind of the theme with what we're going on with the current topic, if you still believe that any of these Democrats, if you're a moderate, if you're a union Democrat or a business Democrat, guess what? You're no longer welcome in the Democrat Party. Look at how they're acting. The same people who sit there and call you a Nazi and a fascist and a racist and ist and islamophobe, everything else, look at what they're doing right now. And I've said this many, many, many times. The desperation is fucking palpable. They're afraid of losing power, and they will do anything to maintain it. And if that means trampling on the Constitution and taking away your rights by force, if necessary, under the threat of imprisonment, fine, or, God forbid, at the point of a gun, they will do it. They are showing their true colors. So I want to ask anyone and everyone, if you still plan on voting blue come November, you should really be paying attention.
Let's address one thing, all right? Let's address one thing. There's something trending on Twitter right now that I think is poignant, or that I think is important to this discussion right now. And It's the hashtag if I could speak to Donald Trump. Now, I'm not going to click on it. I'm not going to read any of this shit. It's just what I'm seeing in the fucking trending in the US. And look, if I could speak to Trump, and I'm pretty sure you guys would say the same thing, maybe something a little different. But if I could speak to Trump, I would want two things. Fucking stop this government overreach and get us the fuck out of the UN. End of story.
Agreed. Well, aren't these the same people who support the UN and the WHO, but also want to stop building the wall because that's xenophobic? But look at the rest of the world.
Goku, not to be rude, but I can care less about the wall right now. I really don't care. Okay, Donald Trump today signed an executive order banning all immigration for 90 days.
Yeah, he should have.
Do you think he's going to extend that to from 90 to 180 and then so on and so forth for the rest of his presidency?
I doubt it. No, I think he'll know when enough is enough. I think he'll give up the reins. I know. You know what? I don't even think that. I know for a fact he will give up those reins. He will give up those reins. He will say, okay, look, we might have some long range, like, additional, like, caveats put onto the immigration laws. But for the most part, it'll just be, all right, cool, whatever. 90 days is over. We can start letting people back in, but it's going to be a slow trickle back in. It's not going to be like, okay, well, you can just show up if you want to. No, because there's going to have to be a hard cap. There's going to have to be a period of rebuilding. And this is why I told people we're about to enter the boring 20s. This is going to be a decade of rebuilding after some crazy shit. And I stand by that. I think it's going to be largely, fuck, we got to roll up our sleeves, we got to get dirty, but a job's got to get done and we got to fucking do it.
I don't disagree. And it's not going to be like, oh, we're opening up the floodgates. And Dodge, no, I think you actually should care about the wall very much because he can shut down immigration all he wants. But if you can just walk over and claim asylum,
Doku,
a ban is a ban. Words are words.
Why do you care about something that they can't build right now anyway because of social distancing? It's not an issue.
They're still
right
building
now,
it.
Okay?
They're still building it. No, they're still building it. That's the thing. They want to stop it. The construction is still actually going on despite the social distancing orders because guess what? Federal mandate.
Yeah,
they're still building it.
Meaning it's an essential service.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, until they take McDonald's off the essential service list, I don't care what they claim is essential. In Oregon,
hey,
weed
the buck goes both
liquor
ways.
Is essential.
That's the thing. The buck goes both ways. So, yeah, they want to keep open McDonald's and liquor stores and dispensaries, but these same people that are claiming social distancing and what's the fucking term they're using? Shelter in place, global citizen. There's the same people that want to stop building the fucking wall because illegal immigration. Yeah, no, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, they want immigration to continue unfettered while we shut everything down. No, dude, that's not how this is going to work.
No, and back to the protests. Do you know what I think is the real root issue of the protests? Yes, it is that we are Americans. We do not want the government telling us what to do and when to do it. We don't. We
it's
never
time
want
for
that.
Bed, Dodge.
But that's...
I'm your local senator. It's time for bed, Dodge.
No, but we never want that, right? But also, it boils down to the fact that they want to make this the new normal. They want to change our lives forever. We're not going to allow that.
Fuck no.
That's the thing, is they are trying, again, I hate bringing this up for the third fucking time, but the Chuck Schumer tweet. We need to support the USPS because we need to secure the integrity and accuracy of our elections. We don't vote by mail. They're trying to normalize all of this so that people get used to it and just accept authority. No, you know what the new normal is? What it should be? Less authority. I am not going to sit there and shelter in place while I'm worried about how I'm going to pay my rent next month, while they're also promising stimulus packages for people who shouldn't be there in the first place from the same people who want to abolish ICE and want federal funding for sanctuary cities. You can go fuck yourself.
And then these same people want to give like $2,500 to fucking 16-year-olds and $500 to anyone under 16. Like, they just want to keep you in their fucking pocket the whole time. They want to keep you fucking down. They want to keep you dependent on mama and papa government. No, that's not how this fucking country works. Keep your breadcrumbs. Let me go get a fucking job. Go fuck yourself. I stand in
and by the way, we pay their salaries. If you go to the gas station and buy a stick of gum and you have to pay sales tax, guess what? These same people that are telling you can't go to work, they're still working and they're still getting paid, and you're the one paying for it. Keep that in your back pocket.
Well, yeah, and
think about that.
Social distancing. Aren't they meeting every day at the White House, right next to each other, and interrogating the president and his team? Yep. Why can't that be done remotely?
Oh, because the press is an essential business. You have to have the press. Even though the press is arguably the worst thing for our fucking country, period.
Well, that's because journalism is not journalism anymore. The 99% of all of what you see, left and right, it's mostly propaganda. And if it's not propaganda, it's skewed in such a way to push a certain narrative or push a certain agenda. If they were truly honest about it, they would label almost everything they put out as an op-ed. But it's not journalism. It's not news. It's mostly opinion pieces and propaganda. And half the time, they get it fucking wrong and they have to issue retractions. The other half the time, they still get it wrong and don't issue retractions.
It's like there's that big fucking thing that CNN put out, like, oh, hey, Kim Jong-un is dead. Okay, CNN, show us proof. Oh, well, we can't, I'm sorry. Needed. We can't, I'm sorry. And then it turns out that he's not dead.
Yeah, and you'll see a very soft retraction, or maybe they'll change the title of the article. But here's the thing, though.
Same fucking bunch of people who fucking witch hunt a fucking 15-year-old for making a meme and bullied him off of the fucking internet. Damn near wanting to kill himself.
Well, let's pretend we're ESPN or CNN. It's a Mad Dodge news alert. Memes of destruction has entered. So, our resident fence sitter, he finally stopped spinning for the day, and he's here to give us his opinion. What's going on, Memes?
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's up, Memes?
What's up, Memes?
Now, what's wrong with asking somebody what their congressperson thinks?
Okay, first off, hey, you know what? It's just like if I want to ask somebody about freedom, I'm not going to go to the British. They're still licking a crown. Okay, so I'm not going to ask an Oregon congressman or woman who is a hardcore Democrat and so entrenched in Salem and Portland that they don't even know what Eastern Oregon looks like, much less the fucking Cascades, what they think. They could fuck themselves.
Oh, I thought all politics was local.
This is between you two. I have no dog in this race.
I'm staying out of. I'm just gonna watch the fucking cat fight happen.
Where my representatives had to run and hide in the hills for fear of being arrested by the governor.
I remember that. Okay.
You mean being arrested and forced to vote on something that they fundamentally disagree with?
Man, though. And don't worry, Doku, I'll get to you.
Okay.
We're shaking.
All right.
Be wary of calling this dragon a fence sitter, lest he shift into attack mode.
Yeah, that's bounce off your level 500 scales.
Actually, it's 3,000 attack points here, buddy.
That's true. It's a lot. It's not the highest, but it's a lot. No. But Matt, I have to be fair here. I totally tossed shade at you earlier with my first comment. That was total shade. I need to toss total shade at myself as well because I don't know what all the positions. I haven't called my congressperson. I should.
They would just send you to the fucking secretary. It's not even worth your
No. But you do realize that a single phone call, because of this exact situation of folks we'd rather just complain out into the void of the internet or to one another. The people that actually call, they view that as representing about the view of 1,000 people.
Sounds like I have a phone call to make.
I know, right? That's an interesting point.
It's almost like rather than like, I don't know, arguing amongst ourselves and engaging in all these silly ops on the internet with one another, if we actually, I don't know, digitally organized on the internet, we could actually have an effect IRL?
Slash has a valid point.
I would like your opinion. My video yesterday did great. I had super chats. I gained 8 or 9 subscribers. It was a great fucking stream. YouTube took it down because we talked about W, C, and then the last one. And then
the W to the A to the C to the O.
Hey,
WCW.
Fucked this video by doing that. That's why
You mean you were talking about who's on first?
YMCA. Anyway,
I'm just singing a song, Dodge. I don't know what you're talking about.
What does the Young Men's Christian Association have anything to do with this?
I really don't know what you're talking about. No, but good for you, man. The stream actually looks very clean.
The tree outside has a divided branch. If you know what I'm talking about, you actually get that one.
Treehouse of Horrors?
Never mind.
You know he's taking the piss out of you right now.
I know, he's trolling. Fuck you, memes.
No, I actually had a little notepad document of things that could probably get me banned from this server in one cigarette. I just don't have the heart to go through with it.
Well, that's nice. At least you're taking notes.
Candid Lynn says meme supporting DDoS in 2020 confirmed.
What? Whoa. Hey, no charging the low orbit ion cannons unless,
how's it going, Candid?
Low orbit? What are you talking about, dude? Those are the low powered ones. We need the high orbit ion cannons.
Dude, that's the fucking...
I want the solar powered version.
I'm not talking about Area 53.
Nah, dude, we're bringing the Godzilla Tesla tanks.
Dude, I would, in my mind, since I will never be president of the United States, I was considering if I was president of the United States, I would be the happy-go-lucky liberal that all of a sudden would just be like, well, all options are on the table, including Exodia. You know that bomb that they use in the Godzilla movie? It's got the Godzilla face on it. It's like, dude, I would so be open to donating some of my own salary to have somebody paint like Exodia on like a multi-warhead ICBM.
Just so that when you're giving the order, you can go Exodia, obliterate.
Well, that's the thing. It's I might be a very progressive liberal, but I also understand it's peace through overwhelming force.
No, you know what's great?
Memes knows the playbook.
No, I can see it. Memes is the Antichrist. He's going to come out and go, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. I'm cooler than Bernie Sanders. I never had to sleep on somebody's couch. I don't need a lake house. My dad already bought one for me. Vote for me, guys. Free college for everybody. And then he gets elected, and he goes, Big Hal.
My ideal society is a society where we don't go to war with one another. No. It would be much like, and I thought about this well before this stupid show ever fucking came out, was No Game, No Life, where everything was decided by a game of skill and or chance.
Oh, like a shadow game.
Kinda, yeah.
Well, there was what was it? Wow, it was a war between the UK and was it Sweden? Norway? It's one of the Scandinavian countries where they fought the whole thing on paper.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was a long time ago, though.
Oh, yeah, it would be funny to see that. It'd be funny. It's like, okay, we're going to war with you. Here's my Steam account. Download.
Go get CS:GO. No, fuck that. Get CS:GO. We'll make a private lobby. I'll see you in an hour, bitch. Get ready.
So should we just have Trump and Biden in a cage?
Fuck yeah. Presidential deciding by
combat.
You know what?
Trial by combat.
Okay,
No,
look.
Fuck this shit. No, fuck this shit. Okay.
No. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Real quick. Hear me out.
Dodge.
Okay. I want AP to run for president and Scooby to run, and then we'll just choose our side, guys.
Yeah, I'm on AP's side. You already know the answer to that one.
Look, listen. I want to see, I actually do want to see this. I want to see a fucking presidential election decided by death match. You put two assholes in there that don't want the job, but want to stay alive and get fucking fed at the end of it. See which one of those assholes is hungrier.
No.
Can I be Mills Lane?
The Chinese fighting fish actually fight. It's the most boring shit ever. That would be that fight. They would be hitting each other with their walkers and shit. Like, that's not a cool fight.
I don't care, man. That's how I want it to go down. The person who wins is the person who deserves it. They wanted it more. They wanted to stay alive more, and now they got to fucking deal with our shit.
I need to finish on dueling.
I want to see Nancy Pelosi or Maxine Waters versus Sarah Palin, just for the shits and giggles.
She'll just shoot them.
Exactly. She's already won.
I just want to see that happen, just because I know I'll be a millionaire by selling popcorn.
But going back to what Frank was saying, he said something about 21 million deaths in China. Do we have any evidence of that?
That's what the numbers were saying. Well, not deaths, but
you mean 1 million cell phones? That kind of
right. But the only reason those cell phones would have gone inactive is let's face it, those people losing access to their breathing privileges.
Or power.
That's the thing that needs to be pointed out. There were almost
like that.
It was like 21.9 million that all of a sudden got disconnected, and those are directly like your cell service in China. It's different from how it is here. When it gets directly disconnected, the government does have direct control over pretty much every aspect of your life. If you want to ride the train in China, you need a cell phone. Hey, not you should have one. You need one.
Could it have been a governmental thing where they're like, they don't want any information getting out, so they just kind of disabled SIM cards?
They usually don't deactivate them because China likes to data mine, and they like to keep. There's a reason they have a social credit system. There's a reason that they have very strong internet censorship. You don't just deactivate 21.9 million out of nowhere.
Do you want to be rich? This is what we do. We pool our money together. Matter of fact, we'll make a GoFundMe, and we pool money together. And then we go to Walmart, and we buy as many fucking low-end Samsung smartphones and SIM cards for Straight Talk as we can. We buy a little piece of land right by China, and all we put there is a cell phone tower. And then we get somebody in China to start selling these phones on the black market. Now they have access to the outside internet.
Fuck that, man. We just drop those phones off and let chaos ensue. Fuck that. We'll fund a rebellion for China. We'll fund a rebellion for China. We'll be able to get more information out. The information alone would be worth it, Dodge. Don't fucking profit off of their misery, man. Come on, that ain't cool.
That's capitalism.
I would do it just for the I would do it just for the
okay, look, I agree with capitalism, but if we're gonna do something like this, we can't fucking use capitalism to to basically put ourselves in a position, and this is where I will disagree with Dodge or anybody on this, is we can't use capitalism to put ourselves in a position to make someone think they owe us something.
Why?
Right?
Why do we subjugate? Why help them then? Why do you care about the Chinese guy?
Because a friend is better than someone who owes you money.
No, they're never your friend, though. We went and gave guns to people. It's called the whole Middle East conflict. It didn't work out very well. At least make some money
Guns
out of
are
this
different
shit.
than information. Guns are different than information, though. If you give
information is more powerful than guns.
Correct. If you give, let's say we walk into China and start handing out fucking satellite phones to everyone, right? It's like undetectable, untraceable satellite phones. Let's say that's a thing. And we start handing them out to the people of China, right? they know they have us as friends. They know they're going to want to trust the information they have to us, the people who gave them the phones, right?
Well, that's the thing. I would rather profit off the information than the phone itself.
I think they'd be happier with a hot meal.
I would like to break even, though, if I'm going to buy territory to put up a fucking cell tower. We got to break even, people.
Oh, you'll make more money off the information than you will on the phone.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Okay.
I'm not a fan of profiteering.
I'm with you. You convinced me. But we're selling information though to fucking WikiLeaks, right?
Oh, screw that. Start our own website. Start our own WikiLeaks. Start our own Project Veritas. Straight from China.
So Bearded Bastard has a point. You can't have them buy their way out of a communist repressive regime. They will resent us for that. You catch more flies with honey. Exactly. That's the point I was trying to make. Is like you just give them this shit and they'll be more receptive to helping you out. Like
how about we stop calling them evil?
How about they stop being evil? And stop
Can they use that same thing against us?
Is that fair? Can I actually say stop eating bats? I mean, come on.
The people of China are the victims in all this. The people of China are the victims in all this. It is the government of China that we need to worry about. How do you break down a regime? Well, I got news for you. It's not through it's not through a U.S. takeover of something. It's by getting the people to fucking realize that we need to take our shit back.
Give it a revision.
Well, we should have a diversity of production as well. Just having everything so much outsourced is just risky, just for situations like this.
Right.
Well, to all the people out there who've been asking,
is if you want to make China pay for this shit, you give the people everything they need. You just drop shit off, and the people will turn against their government, and they will rise against their government, and you will see what happened in France during the French Revolution happen in China. We're starting to see it happen here in the States.
It's so weird not to have MC here talking about glassing people.
Space rocks.
But
don't worry, I'm already putting the Nerva engine on the
oh my god,
LV-297.
The point that
it'll be here in 3 weeks
is that we're definitely going to make China pay. And we'll do that through economic sanctions, I believe. But we need to do something else. We need to give the people of China something to look forward to, something to fight for of their own, and have them become independent of that shithole fucking government they have.
Well, and also, because this is relevant to the conversation, all the people are out there asking, how do we make China pay? What is Trump going to do? What's the government going to do?
That's none of our fucking business until he does what he's going to do.
Well, here's the thing. You don't need Trump to do anything. You don't need the government to do anything.
You can do something.
Every time you go out shopping,
buy American.
Go out of your way to see if something is made in China or made in the USA. And even if it costs a little bit more, stop buying made in China. Boom, there you go. Do that.
Well, no,
if you do that in mass, China will suffer.
No, you're not going to blame me. Okay, I hear this argument all the time.
I'm not blaming you.
You're not going to blame me when I'm fucking broke, on quarantine, wife can't work. I'm making money off of YouTube. It won't pay out. You're not going to blame me if I need a garbage can. I'm with the fucking Walmart. All right? What you do is you give an incentive to the manufacturing to come back home and let the invisible hand do the work for you.
You guys are both right. It takes both. It takes both, Dodge. It's not one or the other. It takes both. It's not, there is no, human beings complicate shit. We complicate things, so we can never let something be simple. But if we want to make it simple, it's as easy as deciding to make it simple. But until then, we need to realize that we complicate shit. So we need to take a multifaceted approach to these things. We need to understand that, okay, look, China's been fucking us over. Their government has been fucking us over. Whether through malice or ineptitude, They got the entire planet sick. They sneezed. They were the fucking dirty kid in class, and they brought lice to school. And now the entire school has lice. Okay.
Did you just call China Linus?
I did. Without realizing it, I did. I was thinking more of, I was thinking more of the Invader Zim episode, but
I thought you were going with the South Park episode.
Out.
But no, I do agree. I do agree with Dodge. Like, I'm not gonna blame you for buying. I'm not gonna blame you for buying cheap when you need to because you can't afford something. But whenever possible, I guess I should rephrase things. Whenever possible, if you can afford it, buy made in the USA, or even hell, even if it's made in South Korea or made in Vietnam or made in, I don't care if it's made in fucking Bangladesh. Just stop buying made in China.
We got ourselves here, and I think it was either Eric or Brett Weinstein, my apologies, gentlemen, brought it up on one of their podcasts the other day. It's like, this is a factor that we led ourselves to. I'll be straight up. I was considering opening up a vape store a number of years ago, and you want to know how it was feasible? Because of Alibaba, China's eBay. Because I could get a vape kit, starter kit that they would sell for $60. And I bought some of those kits over here at the time for, and if you bought lots of 100 or more, it was like $12 with custom packaging with whatever you want. So I'm like, wait a second, that's like a 500% markup. You want to know why we've allowed this to happen? Because people were making money.
No, you're absolutely right.
And that's why it's a multifaceted...
You guys, what's on the screen right now is the sinking scenes from the Titanic. And I think you get my allegory here. That is America right now.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. We put ourselves in this position. And I've been telling people for years we put ourselves in this position. But every time you bring it up, especially in the last 10 years, in the last decade, every time you say something, it's you're racist. Okay, whatever. I can't have a conversation with you on this level then. And that's where I leave it. If I can't have a conversation with someone on a particular level, I back the fuck away from it and go my own way. Because obviously we're not going to see eye to eye on it. Okay, cool, whatever. And there are some things I won't move on. And I think that's fine. I think it's fine for people not to move on things. But when you ignore when you ignore all the signs and then the meteors start falling, you had no one to blame but yourself for ignoring the fact that there was evidence that the meteors were coming to kill us.
And to touch on that subject, everything that is a benefit also comes with a negative that is equally balanced. So if you're talking about a global economy, can you have a more profitable business operating internationally? Of course you can. But you don't want to be reliant upon that international business because one link in the chain breaks, and guess what? Everybody falters. And that's what we're seeing right now. If you're reliant upon China for your supply chain, and we've seen this with medical supplies, guess what happens when that stumbles? Everybody suffers. Not just China. Everybody does.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, like the scene that's playing right before our eyes, they're lighting off the emergency flares. They're putting out the life rafts. And what's going on when they put out the life rafts? They go out half full. Why? Because everybody's fighting to get on. It's supposed to be women and children first. The men are diving on the life rafts. This is the American economy. And we didn't do this, Mr. President. You and the governors of these United States did this. We are the people fighting for the life raft.
Yeah, we're the casualties of the situation that has existed since the 70s and 80s.
This can be a larger debate, I think, but I think if we're going to boil it down to simplicity for simplicity's sake, is that we allowed the American people, the American government, as a collective, we allowed sheep to trump everything. Right? We wanted the better deal. We wanted the faster car. We wanted this. We wanted that. And we all wanted it at rock bottom prices. Well, it was cheaper for them to send shit over, like the politicians, right? The automakers, the clothing makers, whoever you want to think about, right? It was cheaper to send everything overseas and to operate those businesses out of fucking sweatshops because they didn't have to pay their employees anything. right? They're basically slave labor. So you can send this anywhere there's slave labor and make a profit on it. But the instant you start talking about bringing it home, we don't know how to do it because we've had cheap for so long. How do we keep the prices low when we bring it in? That shouldn't be a part of the argument either. That shouldn't be part of the discussion right now.
No, actually, that's easy. You go back to the gold standard, and the inflation lowers, and the prices will look the same, but your money will be worth more. So really, it does go up, but in the average American's mind, it never changed.
Well, Dodge, you don't even have to do that. And I've been making this argument for a long time, and I've made it on this stream before. You don't even have to go that far as to going back to the gold standard. The only thing you have to do, and this is...
Even throwing it on the silver standard would work.
Well, this is a thing. You don't even have to do that. What you have to do, there's three very important things. One, if you can shrink government so that you're not spending so much money, means you can lower taxes. If you can lower taxes and the government, which is by design inefficient, doesn't have to soak up as much money from the free market, people have more money to spend, which means you can do exactly what made businesses go overseas to produce in the first place. You allow them an incentive and a production cost goes down. And then you can start providing things that are locally produced and locally sourced at a cheaper or at least a more competitive price, and people have more money to spend.
That is a great idea.
And as long as real quick, let me finish my thought, Frank. As long as people are conscious about what we're conscious about right now and what we're talking about, is if things are at least competitive, most people are going to buy something that's locally sourced and locally produced, especially if there is a stigma against something that is produced overseas, which allows money to stay within the economy, and people have more money to spend. Consumerism is what drives the U.S. economy because we are a consumer and service-based economy first.
So I agree. I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
Yeah, the only time that we became a consumer-based, service-based economy and not a manufacturing-based economy is post-war. That happened in the 70s and the 80s. What did we do? We started selling out our debt. We became the petrodollar. We got off the gold standard. And it became a lot easier to produce shit overseas. And at the same time, government was expanding and became more expensive. That's less money people have to spend in the economy and the free market. It's the same reason that companies went overseas. They don't want to be taxed at a higher rate so they can support government that is going to restrict them. The same reason that businesses and manufacturing went overseas is the same thing we can do to bring it back here. But that starts with the government first. More government and higher taxes is not the answer.
So look, I agree that shrinking the government would help alleviate some of these issues. I also agree with with Bearded Bastard. He says you really should base it on crops if you want to fix the market.
No, I don't. No, that's what I was trying to. That's why I sighed a little bit because I was going to read that. No, okay, we cannot base our economy on crops. We'll have hyperinflation, and I'll tell you why. Right now we overgrow many different crops because they're subsidized directly from the government. So the government would be subsidizing the crops that you're basing your currency off of, and you're also giving about 3/4 of those crops away every year to many different countries in foreign aid. We feed Africa. We feed half of the Middle East. We feed part of China. We even feed North Korea, for God's sake, and they're our enemy. Okay, we cannot base something on a crop that is subsidized by the United States government.
Okay, that's a fair point to make. The problem I have with shrinking government is that we still don't take into account the human element. And the human element, well, everybody wants more money. Okay, everybody. If we shrink government, we also have to say we also have to take a look and go, dude, you're not allowed to make money based on this, that, or the other thing. You're not allowed to make this much money as a politician. Because when you shrink government, you're also looking into, well, now there's more money to go around in government. Now there's more money to go around from taxpayers. as opposed to putting it back to where it needs to go, as opposed to putting in place a law or whatever you have to do to say, well, you can't take this much money, you can't have you can't get paid this much. There's just nothing there to prevent that. So the human element is a very large factor in government. I'm not saying we replace government with AI or anything, but there's a lot to consider. It's not simply just shrink government. I don't know how we go about doing it, but it would be really cool to figure that out together, to have everyone come together and say, well, what do we think would work? You know,
that's the thing. Being a politician was never supposed to be a career, and I'm not talking about the government work. I'm not talking about the person who's working at the DMV or even your postal truck driver. I'm not talking about them. Those people do deserve a salary. But being a politician, being someone who sits on Capitol Hill, whether you're a House representative or a Senate representative or even the President of the United States, that was never supposed to be a career. It was never supposed to be a for-profit business. I
agree with you entirely. I'm just saying that the human element, that human desire, especially, I don't know if it's just an inherent trait or what, but I do know that at least recently, and this is me giving people the benefit of the doubt, is that we're greedy. I know I want more. I know you want more. Dodge, I know you want more, right?
That's the thing. Yes, we do. We all want to better our lot in life, but I don't want to do it on the backs of somebody else. I would prefer, and I think this is kind of a mentality.
That's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is that we want more. As a species, we want more. And that's the problem. You can shrink government all you want, but unless you tell government, guys, maybe you aren't allowed to take a salary for being a politician. Maybe this is something you should do on your time off.
See, that's kind of my point. Is we have a mentality within our society where we want more, even if it means at the expense of somebody else and taking something from somebody else. You know what that sounds eerily similar to? Communism and socialism, because that's how it always works out. We have been on that slow decline. Which is why I'm not in favor
of shrinking government without also considering other factors.
And that's a fair.
I agree with it. But we have to consider so many other factors. We can't just go, okay, well, get rid of the seats. I firmly believe, and this is my belief, is that if we put more parties into place, there will be more checks and balances going on. If you put at least one more party in there, you have at least a tiebreaker. Yes, that might be open to corruption, but there's already corruption happening. So
the point I wanted to make, Shandor, is there is a flaw in our society, and this all stems from post World War II. There is a flaw in our society in the way that we look at things, because yes, everybody does want more. Greed is an essential part of human nature. We all want a nicer car, or maybe a bigger house, or to eat better food. That's inherently part of the human experience. That's human nature.
Aunt Jack says we need to invert government, not so much shrink it.
Maybe. That's a fair point. But here's what I'm saying. The problem that we have with our mentality is we're willing to entertain the idea of greed and wanting something bigger, better, faster, better tasting. But we're willing to do it if it's handed to us easily. Most people don't want to fucking work for it. They think it's easier to hand that and hand their tax dollars over to government, pay the politicians who divvy out the redistribution, and take the breadcrumbs because it's the easy path. But they don't take into consideration, oh, well, you're actually paying more for it than if you just did it yourself. Because instead of just paying the butcher and the guy who cooks it, and then you have to pay for the dinner, you're having to pay the politician who actually divvies out and figures out how these things are going to be distributed, how the legislation is going to go into account. And the argument is always, well, there's millionaires and billionaires out there, and they'll just tax them at a higher rate. Well, how did that work out? It's the same way it worked out for China and trying to tax, and the U.S. trying to tax manufacturing.
Worked out great for China.
Yeah, it worked out great for China, but it fucking screwed us over because now not only we're paying more, but we have less money moving around in the economy. And this is the problem with the idea of socialism.
And we have fewer jobs. Look at Detroit. You want to know how you stop fucking Detroit from being a hotbed for this fucking corona plague, if that's what we're calling it? Open up a fucking auto plant or two.
And that's the thing. This idea of the government can hand me this, we can just tax the rich or tax the corporations. They're just going to move their money in manufacturing overseas, which screws us in a twofold way. Not only do we lose jobs, usually pretty good paying jobs, they're not minimum wage jobs. Yeah, the products you're buying might be cheaper, but you run into the problem of supply chain. Government has to expand.
The products are only cheaper because the American population doesn't have as much money to support that new economy that is cheaper.
And again, it becomes a deflationary economic situation where it would be actually a lot more beneficial for everybody involved if things were actually more locally sourced. This is why economically socialism and communism doesn't work, because it operates on the same principle. If you're buying something locally, it might be a little bit more expensive, but guess what? That money stays within the localized economy, and the economy maintains a healthy exchange of money, velocity of money, M1, M2. Now, when you start moving things overseas, not only do you lose jobs, you lose the good paying jobs. That's less money that people have to spend. So yeah, they're going to be forced to buy the cheaper product. And guess what happens when the supply chain breaks? The economy fucking breaks. This is the problem that we're running into now. So not only does things become more expensive, but there's less jobs, less productivity, because how much do you think it costs to actually ship these things across oceans or across air? I used to work in logistics. A ridiculous amount of money is wasted. I was working in logistics for Department of State. I was a freight manager. When the Obama furlough happened because they couldn't decide on a budget, do you know how much money got wasted moving something from Maryland to Los Angeles or San Francisco or Los Nogales?
Fuck that, man. From Maryland to fucking Pennsylvania. It's the next state up.
Yeah, it's expensive as hell, and it's money that gets wasted. Government is inefficient. Government is not put in place by design to be economically efficient. The United States Postal Service is a perfect fucking example of that. You do not make an efficient economy, let alone a stable one that can survive the type of thing we're seeing right now, by expanding globalism, by expanding this global idea of socialism and communism, because that's what it is. It is a communist system that is expanding across the entire world, and it has been put in place ever since the 1960s and 70s.
Well, that makes my clip fit even more, because I'm playing The Exorcist, 5 best scenes. So I banish thee, communism, in the name of Jesus Christ. But no.
Before you continue, Dodge, I just want to say thanks for having me on. I gotta bounce. I gotta get out of this chair. I'm fucking sore.
All right,
I'm gonna sit down and watch some TV, and I'll check you guys later. Doku, man. Friday, don't forget the drinking game, you bitch.
Yeah, no, I'll be there. Like I said, man, I've been under the weather. But I don't know. I'll either be there or I'll be in the fucking hospital. One of the two.
I'll send memes to get you. He's just a short drive up the coast, right, memes?
As long as you don't send Milton.
Oh, might have to send Milton. All right, see you later, guys. Peace.
Later, dude.
All right. So the title of the stream is, I guess we're all the enemy now, pretty much, right? Like, I don't think that's the exact title, but that's what I meant by it. And what it is the fact that we are tired of being told by mommy and daddy government to go to our room and wash our hands, wipe our ass. Shit that we already fucking know. Okay? We don't need you for this. What's going to happen as this plays out? 12 states have active protests. Actively, people are breaking quarantine, gathering together, and telling the government to fuck itself. That number's only going to grow.
Well, yeah, even in a state of emergency, you can only quarantine people for so long before, I'm sorry, not everyone has the ability to sit in a jacuzzi in their $2, $3, $4 million mansion and smoke a cigar and drink, $1,000 cognac saying, oh, everything's going to be fine. Let me do a concert for you. Donate to the WHO. Let me eat my $12, $13 per pint ice cream out of my frickin' $11,000 refrigerator / freezer. No, most normal working people are worried about shit. Am I going to be eating instant noodles and Campbell's tomato soup for the next month? How am I going to pay my rent? That's most people. This entire situation is showing just how incredibly disconnected not only politicians are, but also the elite are saying, like, well, you shouldn't go out and protest. You might catch COVID. You should just listen to the government. Everything will be fine. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. Most people don't even have their fucking car paid off.
Yeah, and you know who's taking the hit? The car company, the bank, the landlord.
Yeah, no, this entire situation it's a case study in just how incredibly out of touch a lot of these individuals are, thinking, we can shelter in place and we're all global citizens and we need to donate to this and donate to that, but they won't do it. They don't do it themselves. They won't spend their own money on it. Pelosi over here asking for $10 after showing off her $13 per pint ice cream. These people are supposed to be your representatives. They're acting like oligarchs and rulers and kings and queens. You're going to start to see more and more people get fed up with this. You can only lock people down for so long before you start to realize, and they will realize the hard way or the easy way, you cannot take away somebody's livelihood and expect them to not do something about it. It's that fucking simple.
Okay, it's getting worse, alright? My governor is debating on putting in an executive order in Oregon to require that hotels and motels house the homeless during the quarantine. My wife works in that industry. The homeless are not going to pay. They're going to tear it apart. And then she's got to clean their nasty shit up in the middle of a pandemic. How is this a good idea?
And then when she comes home, God forbid, knock on wood, if she doesn't end up contracting something, and then guess what? It spreads to you, maybe your kids. Now that's more strain on the system. Again, it's a downward spiral.
Yeah, and everybody knows how I feel about the homeless population. I have no animosity. I was one of them. I want to help the ones that want to be helped. Okay? The ones that don't want to be helped, you can be damned, right? But if you're trying actively to get out of your situation, I want to help you. Why are you going to require Motel 6 and the other hotels to do this when you shut down the entire national forest system and we're headed into summer? Why don't you give a giveaway of tents and sleeping bags and open up the forest?
You could, but we all know that's not the MO here. The MO here right now, it's not about public safety. It's not about public health care. It's about trying to consolidate power. And this is why I say the desperation is palpable. Because the old guard, the gatekeepers, what they're trying to do is they're trying to consolidate as much power as possible because they know they're losing it. And they are fucking fearful as shit of losing that power. Because once that power is gone, the same way that once we give up the same way that once we give up our rights and liberties for the sake of public safety, it's near impossible to get those back. The buck goes both ways. It's the same thing for politicians who lose that power. That's why they want to consolidate it as desperately as possible. Because once they lose it, it'll be hell for them trying to get it back. Because we won't stand for it.
Here's why
we get that little taste of freedom.
Here's why I'm interrupting you, bearded bastard. And I quote, "You realize that there are more asymptomatic carriers than symptomatic carriers, and that's why they're keeping shelter in place and face masks." You know what, Ace? I hear what you're saying. Now listen to me. Listen closely. American citizens no longer care. So whether that be true or not, it's a moot point. It does not matter anymore. They pushed us. We don't trust the news. We don't know who to believe. They're telling us that we can't make a living, and they're taking our houses and shutting down our businesses. We don't care anymore. That point doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Sorry, it doesn't.
Hey, Dodge. You there, bro?
Yeah, go ahead.
Stream suspended for policy violations.
Right now, I just got cut off.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Stream unavailable. Stream suspended for policy violations.
You know I did my test with clips and stuff, so it's not my OBS. It's what we're saying.
Yeah, no, they're actively trying to silence us. They don't like what we're saying. Oh. Are we back? Chat, can you hear us?
Yeah, really, can you hear us?
Yeah, that was... I don't know if they can or can't. But if we're there, if we're back, let us know. Sweet. Okay, Ace, Dead Horse, thank you. Yeah, that was weird. Stream suspended for policy violation. That's, questionable.
What'd you do?
We don't know. Last night's stream got struck. We thought it was because of what Dodge might be playing. Apparently that's not the case. Oh. It's gone again.
No, oh yeah, stream's gone.
Yeah.
Suspended for policy violations. Mad, you naughty boy.
What? No, you were here memes and you're the liberal. What'd I do?
Well, I mean, Frank was on and he did say something about 21 million people dying in China. And I haven't seen any evidence aside from potentially corollary things via cell phones. But that doesn't mean that people...
Well, and I think we clarified that and talked about it in a rather straightforward way. I don't see how that violates terms of service. We're talking about something that plenty of other people have talked about.
Hey, we're back up.
Yeah,
What's
no,
going
I
on?
want the stream open in case it comes back. Yeah.
What is going on?
Game here. The stream is open.
Working as intended. Oh, very dead horse. What's going on, brother? I haven't seen you in a while. No, I literally went to go make pasta, take a crap, and then put my meat on, and then I came back and all this happened. See, if you're going to talk about certain things that we're not educated on, I would say invite Ace up, seeing as he's actually within the medical industry.
No, I don't want to revisit what I said because that's when the stream went down, but I meant it. It's now a political issue, not a medical one. That's a moot point at this point.
So what you're saying is you are making a call to action.
No, he's not making a call to action. That would require some very specific parameters that need to be met, a few checkboxes, if you will. You would first off have to have a public presence and a public audience, and then you would have to make a call to action, which means saying, go out and do this or do that. We can speak
at least
our
two
minds.
of the three.
Yeah, we can speak our minds and our opinions, and we can debate things. But no, we're not making a call to action. We're not telling people to go out and
we
do
should
something.
let a very dead horse on. He has questions.
Well,
been around a while.
If he's in the Discord, well, that's Dodge's call, but we're going through Discord. But yeah, no, it's I think it's become very apparent the way that as social media, the mainstream media, or as other people like to call it, the lamestream media, the way that this entire situation is being handled, it is becoming something that is political. Again, it's like the gun control argument. Gun control is not about public safety. It's not about preventing crime. If that was the case, you would be seeing people acting in a very different way. What it's about is more reliance on government, because they don't want you defending your life or your property. What they want is they want you to call the police. It's a 1-2 argument. I was expecting a little bit of pushback.
No, honestly, I'm munching on some what's it called? Lame ass off-brand party mix. So it's got like corn chips, some off-brand fucking Cheetos, and some pretzels in it.
Could be worse. But yeah, no, this entire pandemic, it's the same thing. This is about trying to expand government control. They will say, oh, it's about public safety, it's about social distancing, trying to flatten the curve. But the way it's being treated, this is about politicizing something for the sake of controlling, consolidating, and maintaining power. That's what it has been from the beginning, and that's what it is right now. It's obvious. No, Ace, we're not talking about.
Okay, Ace, I'm gonna preface this or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have a caveat here. I respect you, sir. I like you. That being said, you're fucking wrong. You're absolutely wrong. This is completely about government control, oversight, and outreach. Did you not just see what happened in my stream? Did that have anything to do with me wearing a fucking mask? Did it? No, it fucking didn't. It's political. It's not anti-vaxxers, you dumb bastard.
And Ace, it is political because it was made political by people who are in positions of political power. We're not the ones who made it political. We're just recognizing the fact that, yes, now it is. It's not about public safety anymore. It is about politics. It is about, as you said, people injecting their politics into it. People in positions of power who have the ability to inject their politics into it. We're just recognizing the fact that, yes, it has become political.
You're wrong, and 12 states say you're wrong openly in public right now. Thousands of people say you are wrong.
Oh, what I want to know is, how is the purchase of an American flag going to spread or slow the virus? It's not. It has become political because people in positions of power have made it political. They saw an opportunity, and let's be blunt, politicians are opportunists.
Oh, it had everything to do with the movie I'm showing. Oh, the movie that I got off of YouTube, a top 5 scene movie that has been on YouTube since 2012 and has over 300 million views. It's about that movie. I fucking doubt it, sir.
So I just got that from flipping my meat, and I have no idea what Ace said, but I'm going to lean with Ace is probably correct.
Well, the thing is, ironically enough, Ace is correct. It only becomes political when people inject their politics into it.
Oh,
and
like
as I was saying before, I will say it again. It has become political because people that are in positions of power that can inject politics into it, we're talking about it.
Oh, Dead Horse.
We're not the ones that
has been dead for over a year, man. We're in my Discord, which I believe you're a member of. If you go to the war room, that's pretty much our waiting room. We'll drag you in.
Yeah, and no, Ace is correct. Because this entire situation went from public health to being political. But the people that injected politics into it, they're the ones that are in positions to make policy. They're the ones that legislate. They're the ones that have the power to actually make this political. We're commenting on the fact that this has become political and why it's BS. That's why we're mad. It's not that we want downplay COVID, or we want everyone to go out and protest and potentially spread the virus. No, that is not the point here. The point when we say government overreach is because the government has used this as an excuse to expand their power.
Hey, bearded bastard. Right. You sound like a Valley girl, okay? And second, there's the link to it. Over 2 million views. It's been on YouTube since 2012, you dumb fuck. So they're going to strike me for something they have fucking monetized and enabled on their own service? Go fuck yourself.
All right. Let's simmer down a little bit. But no, let's simmer down a little bit, Dodge. No, and Ace is correct about saying, yeah, it's only political when people inject their politics into it. I agree with that. And that's why we're talking about it. This has been an excuse to expand power. It has been made political. We're not the ones who made it political. We're commenting on it. We're pointing out the fact that, yes, people have injected their politics into this situation. They have made it political. They have used it as a power grab. They have used it as a way to consolidate power, and we're calling it out. So, yeah, you're correct. It has become political. It is now political. Look at Whitmer. Look at Northam. Look at Newsom. Look at Cuomo. Look at de Blasio. Look at Pelosi. They took this and used it as a political tool. They do not care about flattening the curve or slowing the spread of the virus. They're using it as a political tool. I guarantee you if this was 2018...
Okay, you know what? I will calm down, but check it out. Even if I am wrong, if 10 million other people are wrong and they're out in the streets, does it matter that I'm wrong? Does it really? I mean, you could believe I'm wrong all you want. Does it matter at that point? No, it doesn't. Politically, it does not matter. Hitler was wrong. He still won.
Well, why do you think that this whole global citizen and one world together at home and shelter in place and social distancing, all of these things have become political? They have. It's
actually, not a bearded bastard. You've been in my Discord for over a year.
I'm going to continue. Yeah, no, these things have become political, and they were made political. We're not the ones who made it political. We're just the ones who are sick and tired of the overreach. Now, if you want curbside pickup of something, that's one thing. That's fine. But completely outright banning overstretch.
No, real quick. Oh my God, dead horse. There is a lock on it because we only record in this room. Go to the war room. We will drag you in.
But yeah, again, these things have become political. And I guarantee you, if this was 2017, 2018, if this wasn't an election year, you wouldn't be seeing this same level of overreach that we're seeing right now. Again, if you want curbside pickup of something, that's one thing. But to just flat out, ban, if you're going to a drive-in sermon on Sunday and you're going to get ticketed, you have people trying to advocate for, oh, well, if you attend one of these sermons, you have to be reported to the police, not just your address, but also the name of the person. This is authoritarianism. And guess what? Americans don't really like authoritarianism. This whole push for the new normal, trying to get adjusted to the fact that the government can tell you what you can and cannot do, whether it's justified or not, because we can't even trust the numbers. Dr. Bricks herself even said, well, yeah, if somebody died of, say, heart complications, but they tested positive for COVID, it's still going to be counted as a COVID death. Yeah, it has become political, and people are calling it out. There is no sincerity here. This is not about the pandemic anymore. This is not about the virus. It is and has been political for the past month at least. That's what we're calling out.
No, and I don't get it. If 10 million people are pissed and wigging out, okay, like the Rodney King riots, right? They were wrong. It doesn't matter that they were wrong. They still destroyed public property. They still costed tens of millions of dollars, and they still got their fucking point across. It doesn't matter if you're wrong when you're in force.
And also, what's up, Dead Horse? How you doing, bro?
I'm all right. I'm just dumb. I was like,
no,
fuck.
no worries,
Why?
man.
It's been so long since I've streamed through Discord. I was just like, oh no, oh no.
It's all good, dude. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Oh, so as far as each of your states, like who's got actual protests going on? Because I know we have some in Tennessee, but I didn't know.
Well,
I
we
didn't,
definitely have some here in Virginia because apparently gun control and the virus in question are somehow linked.
Hey, horse.
howdy.
But then again, I must clarify something. According to Mad's rewriting of history, he said that quote unquote the Fuhrer won. I think that's in another multiverse, maybe in the Spider-Verse.
He won a election, dummy. Come on.
Oh,
Dude, that's
is
Earth
that
X.
what you said?
I'm
actually
gonna
in
give
the
you
chat.
the floor first, Ace. Go ahead. But even if 10 million people are wrong, 10 million people are still in the streets. Go ahead.
I'm gonna mute.
Okay. So, yes, 10 million people can be wrong, right? And this is what I brought up with the whole fucking anti-vax thing, right? They can be wrong. Absolutely, they can be wrong. But they can be steadfast in their convictions. If that's how they want to go about it, that's fine. If they don't want to listen to anybody else,
I'm on a stream.
or
I'm on a stream.
kind of go back and forth with any
I
sort
just
of
hadn't been on a
logical-
stream in a while, and I wanted to talk about Goof.
Real quick, Dead Horse, could you mute real quick while Ace talks?
Yeah, Ace, restart. You were really quiet. I turned you up. I'm hoping it turns you up through my computer volume for the stream. Try again.
Sorry about that. I'll mute him.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you turned me up because you already turned me on, big boy. But anyways, so yes, 10 million people can be wrong. That's absolutely fine. Just because there's 10 million people in the streets fucking whining and bitching and crying, protesting about some sort of ideology, whether it be political, medical, or anything in between. That doesn't say because there's a collective whole saying this one same thing that they're absolutely right or they're absolutely wrong. Okay. So first and foremost, yes, 10 million people can be wrong. Okay. Let's go to the point.
Okay, well, no, I'm gonna address that. We'll go tit for tat here, because I did say at the very beginning, dude, we're friends, so I do respect you. So we'll start with that. Yeah, I agree that they can be wrong. My argument is politically they could still win. So does it matter if they're wrong? Really? Does it?
Yes, it does because it goes back to the whole Hitler thing. Somebody just brought up Hitler. Jesus Christ. Is that you, Mad? Are you getting balls deep into a, like, fucking bag of fucking chips or something?
Be careful with the H word. that'll get us kicked too.
Okay. The guy whose fucking birthday was just the other day. How about that? So he was wrong, right? He was wrong with his ideology. Jesus fuck. Who was fucking pounding down on the bag of chips?
Dead Horse, while Ace talks, could you could you hit the mic thing and mute yourself?
I'm not muted?
No, you're not.
Damn.
You are definitely not.
Fucking damn it.
Yeah, bro.
I was wondering who was raping the chips.
Hey, man, people gotta eat.
Right. Yeah.
Dead Horse. Could you hit?
No, hey, Dead Horse. Or is he not server muted? I just muted him for me, huh? I meant to server mute.
I don't hear the clickety clack in the background with the fucking bag of chips. All right.
Okay, we're good now. All right, go ahead, Ace.
Yeah, Dead Horse, when you want to talk again, write in general and I'll unserver mute you. Fuck your chips.
You were saying on a political level, people out there protesting like that, can they be wrong? Absolutely. Okay. And let's take the example of the person that somebody just brought up earlier, whose birthday was just like yesterday or the day before, he was wrong. He was very charismatic. He knew how to motivate people. He knew how to get people together to drive an ideology. But was he wrong in what he did? Absolutely. So there was over 10 million people in Germany, I believe, at the time. So can 10 million people be wrong? Absolutely. Especially based off of political ideology. But that's different. Okay, we're that's extremely different, right? Yes, I'm bringing that up, but you're still using the political fact of it. Now, are people fed up and want to just return to fucking normal? Absolutely. Do I think that we need to bring the political aspect of it for the protests? No. Okay. I understand where you guys are coming from about the political aspect because every fucking politician knows if you're not making laws out of some sort of crisis, you're not doing your job. Okay. So I'm not disagreeing with you guys, but how loud people are being about it, it makes me wonder like, do you really think like all this started at day one? Or is this something that's emerging now?
Well, I do think it is political opportunism. And to touch on that point, there were plenty of people who were trying to push for what we're calling power grabs now, who just a few months ago they're saying, "Oh, go hit the town, go to the cinemas, Chinatown is safe. We need to combat the xenophobia." And Trump's overreacting, and now they're the same ones that are saying shelter in place.
Yeah, no,
And so
and the thing is, you have states that are saying we're going to open up. You have backlash. We have states that aren't going to open up, and citizens are creating backlash. There is no correct answer to this. We need to localize the response, not federalize it. And me and you have had this conversation before, Ace. We are not going to agree. I stand with individual rights no matter what. You believe it's a public health risk and oh my god, we're all going to die. I'm not on that boat.
No, no, that is not what I'm saying at all. Do not sit here and try to put words in my mouth and try to tell me what I stand for. Absolutely not. That's not
actually,
what I'm
That's
I
how
will
it
back.
sounds to me. That's what you're saying to me. You're telling me I am wrong fundamentally and I'm a fucking idiot. I read it in the chat. You're telling me I'm an
No.
idiot when I'm arguing for your freedom.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. I could go back and read what I said.
Okay,
But
well then
you read
correct me. You're here. Go ahead.
Okay, so in the chat, wait, hold on, where was it? I said something about this argument. It says political as anti-vaccine arguments.
Yeah, see
That's
that?
where I killed
Okay, anti-vaxxer argument. That translates in YouTube terms to you're a fucking moron. We both know it.
So what you're saying is,
No, that's not what I'm saying. And I think Doku even backed this up because that's where, right after I said, it's only political when people inject their politics into it. And that's the same thing with the whole anti vaccine. You'll see people on both sides. You could argue the actual facts of it, but at the same time, people like to throw in their politics into it. So that's where, when it comes to the medical aspect of what's going on with COVID versus what's going on with the politics, it irritates me because, yes, it's political opportunism, but at the same time, when we talk about COVID, we have to be really clear about what the facts
Oh my god,
are.
wait,
What
real
is
quick.
going on.
MC, if you're gonna call me an idiot and you're gonna second guess everything I say, at least have the balls Ace does and get your ass in here. Other than that,
And,
hit like and shut the fuck up.
and Dodge, to be fair, I've been respectful, right? I didn't fucking try to ad hominem and be like, you sound like a valley girl, right? I'm just laying out like this is my position. I didn't, come at you sideways or anything like that. Like, I know you respect me. I know you got heated about some stuff, like, but I'm not saying anything to say that you're stupid or you're an idiot or anything like that. Like, I want you to understand of like where I see the difference of the argument of like why we shouldn't have to tie politics into it. I understand the anger with the politics because trust me, I'm fucking pissed about it too, right? But you can't sit here and stand and say that I'm saying that it's such a fucking horrible thing where you can't go out in public, you should give away your individual liberties and your rights and things like that. That is not what I'm saying at all. Period. Full stop.
Well, and something important I think that needs to be pointed out is, as you said, political opportunism. It is political opportunism with a lot of the stuff we're seeing. That's not to discredit or discount the importance of, oh, it's just the flu. Like, no, it's more infectious than the flu has been, considering the time frame that if we can believe the information we're getting, which is a
Okay.
completely different topic of conversation. But there is political opportunism, and we're responding simply to that. Now,
Hey, MC,
we're not.
give us like 5-10 minutes before you go, old man, get off my fucking front lawn yelling at Mad Dodge. That's all I ask, please, man.
But But no, what we're responding to is we're responding to the fact that this has been politicized and it is political opportunism. Should the virus be taken seriously? Yes, of course it should. The same way that any virus, especially something that's considered a global pandemic, should be taken seriously.
Right.
That said, well, real quick. That said, what we're talking about is more. It's the government overreach, especially about things that do not apply to COVID at all. Hey, why on earth are we giving money to Planned Parenthood or the Kennedy Center or leaving the liquor stores open and the dispensaries open when you can't buy an American flag? Or Pinoid corrected me on this one, and I fact checked it. He was correct. Yeah, I can't buy seeds for a tomato plant or grow cucumbers, or I can't even garden. Or,
Wait, what?
quick question, why am I going to be arrested or detained or fined for holding hands with my significant other because we wanted to go for a walk on our own property and the neighbor decides to call the cops about it when I sleep in the same bed as her? That's what we're talking about.
Okay, well, first of all, the whole you can't buy tomato seeds and all that's absolutely a fucking lie. Because I can't tell you in the past week how many times I've gone to fucking Walmart to buy fucking more pots for fucking planters and fucking like we have a whole I don't know like we have a good like maybe 18 feet worth of like table space set out up.
They
up
didn't
back.
ban seeds. They just shut down the garden section.
And that was specifically only Michigan, and I believe it only lasted 24 to 48 hours until
You
it
can
got
move
called
the
out.
seeds.
But okay, see like that doesn't make sense to me because like the fucking dead horse I'm out in the Kentucky, Tennessee area. Like we've had no issues with going in Walmart, buying fucking seeds, buying potting soil, doing stuff like that. Like I can, yes, they want people to fucking stand 6 feet apart and whatnot, and a lot of that okay has to do with the fact that there's the asymptomatic versus the symptomatic individuals. And one of like I can go real deep into the medical aspect of this, but I don't want to bore the fuck out of the audience as well. Um, but I do agree, like it should have been fucking politicized because the very first round when they went for the stimulus package bullshit, one of the things that they try to throw into there was funding for Planned Parenthood. And I was like, why? Like, there's no reason to try to backdoor this in. Like, if it's about the stimulus, make it about the stimulus. Like, that politicization or whatever the fuck the word is, where it's too fucking ridiculous. And this is why I brought up, like, every politician knows if they're not making laws or doing funding out of some sort of crisis, they're not doing their job. So I'll absolutely agree in those aspects. But when it comes to why can't I hold hands with my fucking wife, going for a walk. Well, if you're on your own personal property, tell the cop to go fuck themselves. There's nothing that they can fucking do. There's no law saying that you can't hold hands.
Actually, there is in some states. And the thing is, man, I'm going to put it this way. And, yeah, go ahead, think I'm wrong. Think I'm an idiot, MC. I don't care. I refuse to drastically change my life forever because of a sickness. People survived the Black Death. People survived smallpox. People survived typhoid. People survived cholera. You get my point? Okay? When I was a baby, I damn near died from scarlet fever. That's hella contagious. They didn't lock down the entire country. I refuse. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it, and there's thousands of people behind me saying the same thing.
Nobody's saying to change your lifestyle. Well, no. I should take back those words. Not nobody, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying to change your lifestyle. If you want to go for a walk, go for a walk. You want to go to the store, go to the store. All I ask is
I was born in 1984 in Louisiana. I was about 7 months old, and I had scarlet fever, yes. Scarlet fever is still a thing. They don't have a vaccine for scarlet fever, dude.
Scarlet fever is still active. This is why they give vaccinations for MMR, mumps, measles, rubella. Like, all those are still active, right? Everything that we give vaccinations for, and yes, there's not one for scarlet fever. I 100% agree with that. But everything that we give vaccinations for is still active. But what they're doing is they're mitigating, like even polio. Polio is still fucking active, but you're mitigating the risk for the general population of actually getting and transmitting these diseases, right? So, with that being said, this is why back in 2018, we had a major measles outbreak because of the whole anti-vax fucking rise. And, people weren't getting that, so they were transmitting it to other individuals. So that's an issue. So people who are asymptomatic of it, who don't have the symptoms but are a carrier, they're still passing along to other individuals. This is why I like Mad. Mad can be somebody who's fucking asymptomatic. He goes out. Go ahead.
Well, no, you could be right. I went through Houston International twice. I was in Shreveport. I was at LSU University Hospital, for God's sake, where they were keeping the CVID people. And I'm not sick. But if I'm asymptomatic, does that mean my entire family is? I've been home for 24 days.
You're probably fine at this point because with about a 2 to 3 week incubation period, your family probably would have seen it within 5 to 6 weeks top.
Yeah, no, so that's what I'm saying. I know I'm not a risk. Okay, here's the thing. I understand high-risk people. I understand social distancing. What we need is not a government to enforce it. We need a public service announcement, and then we need people to actually follow it. And if they follow it, they follow it. If they don't and they get sick and die, well, fuck them, right? You should have followed it. Like, you could still go places and stay away from people. I don't need to go grab every waitress's ass on the way fucking through the bar. I mean, what are we talking about here? We can't be civilized?
It's not just that, okay? We're talking also cross-contamination, right? Because here's the thing. CDC put out the fucking guidelines on, like, how to properly wash your hands. And there was a lot of motherfuckers that was real, like, first news to them. Like, I need to wash my hands for, like, 20 seconds? What? You mean when I put a hand sanitizer on with rubbing alcohol that has alcohol in it, I have to rub it until my hands are completely dry? Like, these are things? Yes, these are actual things that you should be following throughout your daily life. Right?
Random observation. It's like, all right, all the hand sanitizer is gone in Target, but there still appeared to be a bunch of soap.
No, memes. That's a real issue for me and my family. My son has spina bifida. We have to use a catheter. We have to have hand sanitizer for him. We can't buy any.
Well,
I agree. That's a major problem, as well as you also, for his very specific treatment, you don't want the healthcare system to be overloaded with people that have flu-like symptoms, whether it's from the flu or COVID.
And MC, the state of Arizona and the state of Oregon are both states that are in uproar over this. You called me an idiot as well. Your turn, sir.
I called you an idiot because in general you're an idiot. You know that.
I've never called you an idiot.
I will. I call him an idiot for a lot of reasons, and he knows it. What are you walking around? You're walking around in this situation, and to be honest, while you have some good points, it's sometimes you got to just relax a little bit, dude, because no one was calling you out on this, as far as I can tell. All right, nobody's disagreeing with you. When you start talking about the politics of this, though, you guys point to the federal government and the federal bills. The politics of this and the politicization of this, right, was there in January. All right, it was there in January. You cannot look and see how this was not politicized from January period.
But MC, we're mostly talking about impeachment in January.
We were mostly talking about impeachment in January, and when it got brought up by Trump, what did they say about it? What did they say about the COVID-19 when Trump brought it up in January?
The flu is worse, or at least the number of people were saying.
And what else did the politicians like Nancy Pelosi say? That this is just a distraction. He is trying to avoid the impeachment. He is trying to change the subject.
Well, hindsight.
It doesn't. That's immaterial to this. When you start talking about the politicization of this, all right, this was politicized by the media, all right, long before this. Now, what you're seeing around the country is panic, and it's panic spurred on, all right, by the media, and it's spurred on by the media because they think this helps the left more than it does Trump. They are totally deranged to try and get rid of Trump. They are as committed as the Democrats are to getting rid of Trump, and they're trying to hurt Trump by blaming him for anything and everything that he did. What was the first thing that Trump did? The very first real action Trump took, or well, actually, it's the second action.
He set up the task force, and then he banned travel from China, I believe.
And what was he called that day when he announced it?
Oh, Joe Biden called him xenophobic because I believe he's called it straight up the China virus or something. Here's the thing. There were other things.
No. He didn't call him xenophobic because they were calling it the Wuhan virus. That came a couple of weeks later in February when they were all saying, don't call it when the media came up with don't call it the China virus.
The way he phrased that tweet was...
To be fair, it wasn't the media that did.
You know, it was actually really funny. I heard about that in Houston International, standing 2 feet away from an Asian individual, and I just looked at him and then looked at my phone. I'm like, huh.
Well, that was
okay.
If that makes me a bad person, so be it. But
it does.
The thing is, this was politicized from the word go. You have people, whether you want Mad Dogs, you have to understand this. You worry about it from your perspective, but you're not looking at it from a national perspective. And you're not looking at it from a social perspective. And this is something that's important to know. My wife has a good friend who lives in the state of Ohio. She talks to this person and has talked to this person, all right, since college, all right, in her college days, 3 decades ago. And that woman is absolutely terrified. That she's at the point where she's afraid, literally, to go out of her house. All right, she's thinking she's going to have to stay locked in her house for 2 to 3 years because of this.
See, MC,
because the media has blown this to the point. Now you can say, well, we got to stand up to this. You got to sit up there and recognize the situation around the country. There are people that believe, like the woman in Ohio, All right.
Well,
the
no.
woman in Ohio believes that there's 4,000 dead in Ohio alone,
But
which
there's
is
not.
absolutely incorrect.
Yeah, but there's not. And the thing is, MC,
No,
listen. MC, listen.
we
This
don't
is
know how
why
many
I'm
people are
outraged.
dying.
This is why
No,
I'm
no, no, no,
yelling.
no. I'm not finishing. Hold on, because you can't look at what's happened in New York and say that there's not a lot of people dying. Now, I will grant you that you don't need a federal lockdown, but you didn't get one either. You said, well, we need a local response to this. Like it or not, you got a local response across this nation, all right? And in your local response with your governors and with your group of people, they were more interested in playing politics and continuing the narrative. That's not on the feds. Now, did the feds, of course, overreact? I'm not excusing federal overreaction. No, I'm not excusing they're making this political either. Okay, but you can't sit up there and say we needed a local response and then not understand that's what you're looking at. Because my state is not having the problems that your state is. Your state is not having the problem, let's be honest, of what Whitmer is trying to do in Michigan. Michigan is Whitmer is out of control in Michigan.
I'll throw you a bone here, Mad. Fucking, you want an apolitical fucking look that will piss you the fuck off? So, I've been open and honest about this. I live on a fucking military base.
Yeah, I need to say something here. Okay, MC. Your wife's probably one of her best friends if she's known her that long. You know, like my buddy I've known for 25 years. He's my best friend. Right? There's a reason we've known each other for over 25 years. Okay? We've had each other's backs. So, I understand. No, real quick, Ace. I understand. And I don't even care what you said. I didn't even hear you because you're mumbling. You're like a mumble rapper. Turn up the gain. Okay, so
he said that wasn't one of your suppliers or one of your other.
Actually, I was the dealer, dickhead. Anyway,
business partner.
All right, what are your customers then?
When you get a minute, I got something to say.
Okay. This is my problem. This is why I'm so outraged. The government itself is they pushed this out so far and made it so overblown that half the country is scared and the other half are mad. And then they are trying to superimpose the situation on the actual flu. They have said it multiple times in press conferences. They want this to be the new normal. I refuse, sir. I refuse. And the fact that she is that scared gives me credence, in my opinion. Because this isn't the Black Death.
When you say they, who is they?
The local, state, and federal government.
No, there's specific people who are trying to say this is the new normal. There's plenty of pushback on the federal level saying,
okay.
No, that's not.
Actually, you want to know exactly who? The doctor, that bitch, the fucking old white lady who leads.
Bricks or Burks or however you say her name.
Yeah, her. She said it 4 times so far. I've been counting.
And I understand that, okay, but that is not the entirety of the government, and that's not. No one sitting up there is you haven't seen the federal government move in that direction. I'm not saying that there aren't people that are idiots. You also had somebody in the federal government, in the NIH, the lead researcher in the NIH, say that they're just letting black people die. That this should be considered a black genocide. Okay, so you've got people making statements, and there are people that are magnifying those statements in the media. But the reason the media is doing this, all right, has more to do with the fact that they're just trying to, anything that makes the administration look bad, they're going to try and magnify, or they're going to try and distort. You already know that.
Let me piggyback off that for a second, because
actually, Ace, I hate to do it to you, but Horse called it. No, Horse called next, dude. He really did.
Sorry. Cheers. I did have dibs. I just wanted to respond to something. Chat. Let's see where we can roll back here. Something about the Kung flu being more infectious than the actual flu itself. It is more infectious, but it's not as deadly. Especially you don't have
Bullshit.
2/10 of 1% is Like if you have no pre-existing conditions, that's
Okay.
that's the death rate for a
so-
person with no pre-existing conditions. 0.2%.
No, and so people fucking confuse this all the time. The death rate and actual deaths, those are two different things, okay? So death rate, when we talk about the common flu, like people think of it, which is actually a gastrointestinal disease, which is the common flu, versus what the flu actually is, which is a respiratory illness, we're talking at a 0.04% for the death rate of the respiratory illness. So we're talking about maybe US numbers, maybe between 250 to 300,000 dead per year. Okay. So those numbers are exponential compared to COVID, and the infection rate versus actually infected, those are two different set of numbers that we could talk about. So the death rate for COVID is actually anywhere between 2 to 4%, not 0.02 to 4%.
But you didn't listen to what I said, because that's not what I said.
That's no.
But what I said,
the flu is more deadly than COVID. That is what you said.
What I said is, as I was responding to what Sith said in the chat, and I said the death rate for a person that doesn't have any pre-existing, like, major things, like what basically all the people that are dying have pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, they have,
and only 0.2% of the people that were that didn't have the pre-existing conditions that got the COVID actually died.
What Seth was saying, sorry, Ace, just to clarify what we're actually talking about. Basically, Sith is talking about saying that COVID versus the flu tends to be as deadly. It's just much more highly contagious. So you have many more people at the same time getting it. That's at least what he's saying.
Right. And he also brought in the pre-existing conditions, right?
Okay, the pre-existing conditions. Man, you catch pneumonia and you have lung cancer, you're probably going to die. Okay, does that mean we lock down the country?
Sure.
No, it doesn't. Okay, anyway, moving on from that.
No.
But let me continue.
This is very
it's my
important.
show,
But
right?
What I was trying to get to is that, for the people that have these conditions, maybe they could just be quarantined and let the rest of us
be
be about our lives.
That's a good point. But no, you guys.
Okay,
listen.
Yeah, go back to the politics aspect.
I'm not going back to the politics. What I'm saying here is when it comes to the medical side of this, our hospitals are not overrun. We're actually stockpiling respirators. Where? New York?
In New York, but that's it.
Fuck New York. Fuck
New York, New Jersey.
Fuck New Jersey. New Jersey is New York light. Fuck them.
Fucking out in Washington State? Do you
no,
not
they're not.
know?
I live in Oregon. No, they're not.
Washington State had to send back all those portable hospitals.
Give me a break. We have freedom of movement. Dude, have you seen the numbers? Because I watched the West Coast numbers.
Time out. So you have freedom of movement, but you're bitching that this is over.
Have you seen the numbers?
No, shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up. There's one fucking death in a county of 300 fucking square miles.
Relax, but he's not talking about that, man, and you know it. Come on now, let him speak.
Jesus, I'm actually trying to bring fucking facts to it, and it's like, oh no, but what about the politics? What about this?
What about the numbers
that?
of what the CDC is releasing, which are inflated to begin with, and there's only one? And in Seattle, there's like 52.
And I try to bring up the fact of how they're correlating the death certificates earlier, but then you guys were like, no, but what about the politics? And what about this?
You just want to go with the doctors and let them run stuff. They're not elected. They don't get to run anything, dude. You get to do your job.
Oh my God. Sure. You're right, man. Absolutely. You're right. You're the arbiter of all the things.
No, isn't it your job to take care of the sick? Why are you bitching?
I'm bitching because this is like somebody who goes, well, I don't know why I need to have my kid get a MMR vaccine. Well, here's the reasons why. Well, I saw on YouTube this. I saw somebody
How
post
about
this
it's
news
your
article.
own decision what you put in your body? How about that?
But is that really the same? I mean,
it's no. The difference is informed decisions versus just going with some.
And you're the arbitrator of who is informed and who isn't.
I was saying.
I'm not saying that I would force a vaccine on anybody. I would not force anybody to do anything, right?
Well, you're forcing me to stay in my home.
No, I'm not. I'm not. You are free to leave your home. You can do whatever you fucking put on me.
Oh,
that
really? Because in the state of Oregon and a lot of other states, it's actually a misdemeanor or a Class C felony to leave your home without proper papers or proper reason.
That's not on me. That's not on me.
No, but you're cheerleading for him.
No, I'm not cheerleading for him. I am definitely not. I'm trying to.
I thought you chose to stay in your home.
Oh, what was that? Can you say that again?
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, but if I didn't, my friend who is you want to do a gotcha moment like Fox News?
No,
good luck.
That's
my
me.
buddy who's homeless.
No, you said it was
my God.
Who put that on you. No, you said that was me who put that on you. Go ahead and kick me. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is, I've try to bring facts to all of this, and every single time it comes back to politics or, well, these people are doing this
because it's a political issue.
No, it's not just a political issue. You have to understand the medical side of it as well.
The medical side has no political impact on your freedoms or on what you're allowed to do. The medical aspect should be left to the medical professionals, but it isn't. It's left to the politicians, which makes it a political fucking issue.
Real quick, Dodge and Ace, I think where the two of you are having an impasse.
Politics are involved in everything. Is it not?
Hold on, let him speak.
I think where Ace and Dodge are having an impasse is Dodge is talking about the political implications.
Is someone trying to speak? Because I can't hear them.
Yeah, Doku's talking.
Yeah, MC,
can you hear me?
Have to drop out and come back if you can't hear Doku. Because he is talking, I can hear him.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I'm good. So you guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. No, I think where Dodge and Ace are having an impasse is Ace is talking about the medical implications, and I don't think any of us has said that this pandemic, the Shanghai sniffles, the Wu flu, whatever you want to call it, it shouldn't be taken seriously. It should be taken seriously. It's a novel coronavirus, which means we don't understand that much about it. That said, it has been used as a political bludgeon to push an agenda, and that's more, I think, where you guys are having the headbutting. Ace is trying to talk about, this is something you need to take seriously from a medical perspective. You don't want to walk around and just shake hands with a random stranger on the fucking street, or
it's
no sidewalk handies.
Yeah, you don't want to go around licking. You don't want to go around licking dollar bills or licking.
You don't need to hop in the bushes, jerk people off.
It's not just the shaking hands, though, right? I try to bring up cross-contamination, and then you guys went off on something else. Like, I've been...
because the title of my stream is political. Hold
on, real quick. I'm not quite done. And yes, I was being... I understand. I was being mildly facetious. I was trying to lighten the mood a little bit.
Just a little hyperbolic?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. You come into somebody else's show and then bitch at me when I have a map out of what I'm going to do.
Well, what Dodge is talking about is the fact that this has been used to advance a political agenda with total disregard for the actual medical implications. The politicians are not talking about that. If they're talking about practicing social distancing and how you need to shelter in place and all of this, but they turn around, they're not wearing masks, they're not wearing gloves, and they're standing 3-4 inches from the people who are taking their picture while they're doing a press conference because it's safe to go down to Chinatown. It is a political thing, and that's it is a multifaceted issue, but the two sides of the coin are this. There is the politics of the issue, which is what Dodge is talking about, and then there is the actual, you shouldn't just be taking this as, oh, it's only the flu, the medical aspect of things. We're more talking about the politics.
President Trump comes out with a mask. How does the country respond?
So let me say this, right? And I'm saying this more so to Dodge, right? Like, I guess my vested interest is more in the medical aspect, and I'm not shitting on the political aspect of it. Like, I get where you guys are pissed off and angry. And I completely agree, and because I'm on the same wavelength. Like, I'm in an area where they're not even telling me how many people, whether they're symptomatic, completely actually infected, or asymptomatic. Like, I have no idea about those fucking numbers. It's been like that for a month.
Actually, I'll switch gears here and I'll play your game.
Well,
all right?
I had one thing.
Real quick, Horse. I do have a map, and it was about politics. That's why I got a little irritated that you're yelling at me about me running my own show. Kind of pissed me off.
No.
But I'll shift gears.
No,
I'll shift gears.
I was talking about people jerking off in the bushes.
I'll shift gears. Gears. Listen.
Let Ace finish his point, actually, because I am curious.
Listen.
No, let Matt go.
Okay. Let's shift gears. Let's go to the medical side. Asymptomatic. That means you're a carrier, but it's not affecting you. Why don't we identify the asymptomatic people, test their blood, and come up with a vaccine quicker? That's medical.
That would be amazing. Go. Fuck yes. Yes, I'm 100% behind that. Like, that's a great idea. Like, that's something that we should absolutely 100% look into and invest our time in.
But would you be okay with that? Would you be real quick, Ace, and then Dead Horse go? Would you be okay with that, though, if it was a government mandate? If you have to, you have no say in it.
If it was a government mandate, no. You should everything medically should be volunteer, right? And there's a thing with medical where you have implied consent. So even if you don't shake your head yes, but look like you have the understanding of what the procedure is or what's going to go on, like, you are giving consent without actually saying yes or no, right? I have an issue with that as a part of ethics. As a part of ethics, I have an issue with that. Like,
so you're against the idea. You're against the idea of the government saying you have to do this and you have no choice.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
Gotcha.
And like, this is why I got a little upset with Matt when he said that, I'm trying to, take away individual rights. Absolutely fucking not. Like, and like, that's why I also got upset when he said something that I'm forcing people like him to stay at home. Like, no, that's not what my fucking goal is. My goal is, like, I want people, like the lady out in Ohio, I want them to be 100% informed of what's going on with this as a medical aspect, to understand what the precautions you could take. You could still live your normal life. You could still go to fucking Walmart, fucking Rural King, whatever the fuck it is that you like to do. You could go jack off in the bushes, but as long as you do it in a way that you're taking those same precautions, you're just taking an extra step. And like,
well, so let me frame this in a way that I think we can all find some more common ground. Essentially, what you're saying is, yes, people should take this seriously. They should be well informed so they know what precautions and what preventative measures they have to take. If that means wearing a mask or wearing gloves, or maybe just not going out for a jog 3 times a day, maybe washing your hands a few more times than you need to. Yes, you should do that. You should be well informed. But at the same time, you cannot pass law or legislation or give power to the authorities, government mandate.
Yes.
You're not advocating for, people essentially being forced to do something against their will.
We also shouldn't conflate different states, because each state has a different thing. Sorry.
100% yes. 100% yes. But go ahead, Dead Horse. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So what I was trying to get at is we can do, like when I was saying that everybody else who's in that little point, whatever I was talking about earlier, can go off and do their own thing. I didn't mean like go off and do their own thing and not wear any gloves or masks or anything. I just think, follow the basic guidelines and, don't. I mean, like businesses should be able to do, like if they need to, to keep their business going, they should be able to like, hey, you're on this shift. You can have this many people in the building. When this is done, we'll shift another set of people in, and we'll keep doing it that way. So we don't have to shut down businesses. We don't have to keep everything fucked up. And we don't have to have, whole like restaurants and all these businesses going under because they're losing all this revenue that they should be making right now. That's all I was trying to get across is that, and you should like for instance, like I don't get the whole like not being able to walk around your block thing. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. If you're by yourself, there's no reason that any state government should should bother you as long as you're not like, because they're arresting people just for being outside in some states.
That's the thing. I think most folks could typically agree. If you're not bothering anyone else, you shouldn't be getting arrested for just going outside your home.
They were arresting people. They were finding and arresting, sitting out and watching the sunset in their cars.
I forget what state it happened in, but there was a father who got arrested who was flying
Colorado
with his daughter, and like there was nobody else around there.
Well, no. What happened?
I thought that was
I know
the
the
UK.
instance. No, the kite one might have been the UK, but the one in Colorado is a father went out with his daughter to a park that was completely empty. They were indeed 6 feet away, and they were essentially playing catch. And they came and arrested him and detained him. And according to the guy, did I believe it was an MSNBC interview. And according to what he said, the cop said, "Hey, if you don't cooperate, we're going to arrest you in front of your daughter." His wife was the one recording it. Here's the clincher to that story. That guy's an ex-Colorado State Trooper.
Jesus.
Beautiful.
Once they ran his background and they found that out, guess what? They released him.
What do you guys think about the feds coming in and like telling certain states that they can't do some of the things that they've been doing, like especially with like Michigan and saying telling people
Well,
they can't even go to like church as a drive-in theater type of thing.
Well, the idea of checks and balances is this. When the states are overreaching and they're actually violating your constitutional rights for no good reason. Well, that's what I'm saying,
yeah.
Because
they are.
The Fed and it's weird. You have to sometimes fight fire with fire, so they say. I would act if the state government is actually violating your constitutional rights for no reason other than, it's a national emergency, it's a pandemic. But they're using authority, and again, under threat of fine, imprisonment, or potentially at the point of a gun. Sometimes the federal government actually does need to step in and say, no, look, you're violating the United States Constitution.
Wasn't this the same AG that was talking about taking away habeas corpus, potentially?
Yeah, I disagree with you guys on that. If you want to fight that and you want to take up your rights and say, hey, look, you're violating my rights, that's fine. But if you're expecting the federal government to defend your rights, you are making the wrong choice.
Well, I have no problem with the federal government doing it, but I do, and this is where the caveat comes in. If the people aren't standing up for their individual rights to begin with, the federal government shouldn't even be having to step in the first place. That is indicative of a much larger problem. I'm not going to willingly give up my rights simply because my governor, Northam, says, well, I'm only allowed to go to the gas station between the hours of 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. If you see me trying to go there and buy a cup of instant noodles at 1 a.m. and I'm not wearing a mask, I'm going to get arrested, detained, and fined. No, that's bullshit. It's a fucking scary situation where you have the federal government stepping in, telling the states that they're violating
Yeah,
constitutional rights.
that's what I would like to happen.
I have on the screen playing a short little thing on a loop about the Spanish flu. About a third of the world's population got it. 50 million people died. What happened was the local governments shut down churches and theaters. It was never a federal mandate. And it lasted about a year and a half and dissipated. And that was with just churches and theaters closed. Not everything else like we are doing. And they still had lots of immigration at that point. They didn't
Also a war.
They didn't drastically change your life over it. So I'm sorry. We've been through this before, people.
Okay.
And we are okay.
Now this is where I go on the medical side again. Okay. So a lot of the things what we learned when the Spanish flu happened was the sanitary standard for other countries and what America was at. Now, America was not fucking great with its sanitary standards back then. Don't get me wrong. I'm not placing them like high up in the fuck. They're a cunt hair above like what other countries were, but the sanitary standards of them were massively different. That's why you had a insurance, right? Not just that, you also, like somebody else brought up, there was a lot of people who were coming back from war that were different countries, and they were coming back from the First World War, and that also impacted greatly the infection rate. Now, one of the things that I see what he's talking about is where, yes, they closed down just these small little aspects, and it did spread, but there was a bounce back a lot faster. And that was because a lot more people got infected and a lot more immunological advancements happened throughout the human body in a short amount of time. So, like, medical aspect, like, was it detrimental? Absolutely. But we learned so much. And that's why, yes, I understand why they're shutting shit down because they didn't want to spread something like that or like polio. But at the same time, do I say that the shutdown is equivalent and should be the same way that fucking, like, the way they're doing it now? No. They should have rolled it the same way that they did with Spanish flu because of you had, yes, the infection rate and the death rate, but the death rate for the Spanish flu compared to COVID is highly fucking different. Highly.
Well, and I think this is kind of the point we were making about the much earlier on in the stream about the idea of we need to adjust to a new normal and, you know, passing legislation that unless you challenge it in court, guess what? It's on the books now. You know, we don't want to put this level of power in the hands of government simply because there's a pandemic going on, and I think that's more of what me and Dodge were trying to impart on the rest of the audience.
100%. I'm 100%. Like, it fucking makes me worrisome as fuck. But Dodge, you're friends with me on fucking Facebook, man. Go back and look at my fucking post like maybe a month ago. I put a post out there saying, like, I don't like how people are using the term normal. Like, it's definitely raising red flags in me.
No, and I get that. Like, Ace, I respect you. We're friends, man. So if anybody's able to tell you to fuck off, it's me. And if anybody's able to tell me to fuck off, it's you. It's fair enough, okay? But I do not agree with you here. I take my freedom over security any day. I will die before I give up my security. Or my freedom, I mean. I'm not going to trade my security. I'm not.
Well,
I'm not giving it up to the federal government, the local government. My governor is a fucking raging cunt. I'm not giving it to her. You know what I mean? I refuse. I will take my life in my own hands.
That's not what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Is I just want you to be informed as much as you can about what's actually going on in the medical community and what we are understanding about COVID and how it's transmitted and different things like cross-contamination, different things like that. I don't want you to give up any sort of fucking rights. I want you to be able to go out and do whatever the fuck you want. But I want you to also be able to make decisions of knowing how to protect yourself and your family against a disease like this. That's all I care about. I want your family and you to be safe against a disease like this. And I want you to know the best medical knowledge.
No, I understand. I understand.
And real quick, real
Hi,
quick, Dodge.
Batman. What's up? Straight Sith Mail.
Hey, buddy.
Go to War Room. I'll drag you in. I'm not changing everybody's role just so they can join this. If that's how it's gonna be, we'll do a call-in show and I'll set up a whole new server. It'll be a lot easier.
You're letting gay Jedi female in here.
But no, I might actually just set up a call-in server. I think that's the way to go.
You might as well do a call-in show. That's actually a good idea, and those tend to be rather popular. But real quick, just because of what you and Ace were talking about, I think both of you can agree on this one. Yeah, should you take this thing seriously? Yes. Should you let the government take away your rights because it's serious? No. More so, the crux of the issue. You're both big boys. You're grown men. Do you need the government telling you what you can and can't do? Can you make your own decisions for yourself, even if they're stupid decisions? Okay, yeah, you can. It might be dumb, but you don't want to end up in a position where you're living under a police state where the government can tell you what you can and can't do. I think that's more...
Yeah.
I'll tell you like this. Even if me and Mad Dodge disagree and don't see eye to eye on how we're coming across with these points, the day that there's a fucking police state, I think me and Mad Dodge are fucking at least smart enough to be like, yeah, fuck all that noise. We're linking up, man. I could fucking build shit. You could grow shit. I could grow shit. We could have a fucking still. We could have our own little fucking crazy little community where we're fucking, we have land and, we're gonna kill any motherfucker who tries to fucking take over our shit because...
Dude,
oh my god, you sound like a fucking communist.
No,
I
already have a pet mountain lion to defend the perimeter.
Temple? You're gonna sick Temple on them?
Yeah, I've already prepared for the possibility of a police state. I have a Metropolitan Police uniform that is indistinguishable from the real thing.
I'm not sure if you should be saying that live on stream, but more power to you.
You probably shouldn't have said that other shit either.
I'm calling myself Batman. Who's gonna fucking find me?
If anybody's gonna have that uniform, it's gonna be Batman.
Dude, I turn on a light with a fucking stencil on it and you show up.
Yeah, behind you and scare the shit out of you.
Where's Rachel?
Yeah, nice comeback, Batman, but I thought that was a good joke.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
No, I think you guys have actually found an agreement. Should you take this shit seriously? Yes. Should we be informed? Well, if you want to be informed, don't pay attention to the fucking media. Sure as shit don't pay attention to Bricks, because she already said that... she already gave us from the horse's mouth. No offense to you, very dead horse. She already flat out said, yeah, if you have medical implications but you test positive for COVID, they just count it as a COVID death. I already brought it up earlier in the stream. There was a hot mic with White House correspondent journalists, and I say that term very generously, journalists, where apparently California has had, real quick, California has apparently had cases somewhere in the range of 300,000 to 400,000, but they're not reporting on it because they want the mortality rate to be higher. And they're using these statistics to push this political agenda because they want power. And I stand by my statement. If this was 2017, you would not see this type of response. You would not see this type of power grab going on from these mayors and governors. This is something that is being politicized.
Can I read out a comment?
Because it's 0 hour.
Can I read out
let's
the comment by us in the chat?
I was going to say, and
Go for it.
let's be.
Dodge
let's
doesn't
be-
need the government to tell him what to do. He's already got a wife for that.
Ain't that the fucking truth? And it's her birthday, by the way. So if anybody
Just
wants to
happy
say
birthday.
happy
Oh.
birthday to
Miss
Mrs. Mad, you can. It is her birthday. She's
Happy
according
birthday,
to her,
Mad
she's
Lady.
21. 23. Sorry, I don't know. It's
How many times
it's
you
a
got?
fake age anyway. I mean, you're totally
Oh.
23, honey.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Mad.
Happy birthday,
Don't
Madge.
let the kids get you sick.
Happy birthday, Madge Dodge's carer.
And see, this is why, I don't worry about boys can kill him before, we could have a link up and actually go shooting.
Yeah, you guys think I'm an asshole to the chat or my panel? Like, try being my wife.
No, I've got the wrong equipment for that.
Pass.
Yeah, no. Try
Or
being
do
my
you?
wife because
I've got the wrong
you kept getting angry, and I was like, no, listen. I just want to talk to you logically. My wife will do the same thing. No, I'm angry. I was like, no, I want to talk to you logically. And she's like, fuck you, I hate you. It's like, I just happened to walk into a knife one night. I don't know what happened.
Well, either way, thank you for joining the chat and actually coming and sharing your opinion. Because again, I think this is actually a more productive conversation than what most people are doing right now. Because we can point out, yes, this is how you should view things, but it doesn't mean you're supposed to give up your rights to some sort of authoritarian
No, you
Well,
Absolutely.
ideology.
Absolutely.
Well, what do you guys think would be an appropriate amount of caution, that we should use without just saying, everybody's got to stay home and nothing can be open?
I could give my opinion. So my opinion would be to when you go into any sort of facility, I'm talking about a grocery store or a local store, anything outside of your regular domicile. When you go in there, use hand sanitizer. Try not to interact with anything that you don't need to. Use a face mask so that way, if you are a asymptomatic carrier, you're not, possibly breathing on something where somebody goes to grab it, pick it up, and now because they're a dumbass, they touch your face, they put it in their mucous membranes, and something like that. You follow normal health regulations.
Yeah.
Wear a mask.
And whatever you
At
do,
this point,
whatever you do, don't rush into a busy supermarket in a hazmat suit and shout, quick!
Yeah,
Anybody seen a guy in a hospital gown?
Okay, you know what? I've been trying not to nitpick, but I have to now because you keep saying it. This is like the 20th time you said it. Okay. At the beginning, they said don't buy a mask because the health professionals need it. Then they said buy a mask. Then they said don't buy a mask. Then buy a mask. Hey, don't buy one. Don't. Now buy one.
Don't wear it unless you're symptomatic.
Today, are we on buy a mask or are we on not buy a mask? Because I'm not keeping track.
We're on buy a
anymore.
mask.
What he said, don't wear a mask unless you have symptoms.
Well, that's what they said the first time. Now they're saying wear it in.
No,
Which makes sense.
At this point in time, I do want to ask Ace real quick. So, from what I'm gathering and what I'm piecing together, I would make the argument that the best thing you could do is be consciously aware of the fact that there is a pandemic and how it spreads. Don't buy into the fear-mongering. Don't listen to the media. Just be aware. Again, if you think you need to, if you live in an urban area, wear a mask. Maybe wear gloves if you have to. Wash your hands.
Yes.
But just be aware.
Yes.
I would say in all seriousness, crack a few jokes, have a bit of a laugh. Otherwise, with isolation, self-imposed isolation, you're going to go mad. Seriously.
That's another reason to be able to get out of the house. Some of the that you can't go to the park or you can't like walk around. I mean, I get don't go on the jungle gym or what. You should be able to walk around.
I go to the park and I can walk around.
When I say wear a mask, I'm only talking about a densely populated area. Like, and I even bring that up with something like grocery stores, right? But at the same time, you have to look at the different settings that people are in, right? Like Madad. I think that Madaj is more in like a mountainous region where like they know everybody and their fucking brother. So it's not really an issue for him to his local community, pick a few items up. Like he could just walk into Walmart. Like I have to wait 30 minutes in line to get into my local Walmart. Like so for him, I go, don't worry about masks. Like yeah, fucking use hand sanitizer, wipe down the like something like that. But besides that, like you guys are fucking good. Like if your community were to get it, like you would have already got it. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers would either be dead or fucking striving by now. And y'all are striving, so I don't know what the fuck y'all are doing, but great thing. So
the way you described Dodger's community made him sound like one of the Waltons.
Well, we're in the middle of nowhere. He has a point. I live in the Cascades, man. I'm 65 miles out of town. But then again, I am high risk. Not high risk to die, but high risk to catch it because I went through the airport during the pandemic. Okay? I was there at international airports, you know.
Apparently, because I smoke, I'm relatively low risk. I don't know how.
No, you would be at medium risk because...
No, apparently it's low risk, something to do with the nicotine or something or other.
No, it's not so much the nicotine. So one of the issues is it's still a respiratory disease. So with you smoking, it will affect bronchial, so it'll affect your lungs and the bronchial too. So
wait, what lungs?
Hey, can you guys hear me, or I'm still in the waiting room?
No, you're
not in the waiting room. You've been in here twice now, actually, and I'm cooking and running the stream, so.
Oh, well, anyway, no, Dodge, what I was saying is, yeah, there are certain assholes out there that are fucking trying to take away our civil rights, trying to fuck with our Constitution. It's bullshit. This disease, what I'm saying is, it has a high rate of infection. So therefore, it has a higher death toll than the flu. And there are high-risk people, obviously. But what I'm saying is we should take it seriously, but at the same time, we shouldn't take closing down the economy just lying down. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you. I have heard...
Real quick, if you're on your phone...
are you mad, Dodge?
I was just telling him to uncup his phone if he's talking on the phone.
I don't care, but real quick, that's Mad Dodge's line.
It sounds like you're rehashing what we already kind of covered with this. And when it comes to the flu versus this, so what we're looking at, right? The body is actually kind of used to the immune system used to the flu, right? Yeah. We're a very active virus body where we have these within our but one of the problems when it comes to something like COVID or SARS, why it's so detrimental is not only is it a new emerging virus that yes, people will go, well, it's been around for years, but no, it's been around with animals and it's finally made the jump from animals to humans, and that mutation just from the dude fucking around with the, or if they did it in a fucking lab in China, whatever the fuck you want to.
Whether it came from a lab or came from just bat soup.
So what? Either one of those. What we know to date right now is it's made at least 3 mutations. Okay, so the first. When it first popped up on the radar was back in November, at least, of last year. So from November last year, now, it's made 3 different mutations. So, a new emerging virus to the immune system and all that, like, it's a whole different process. And it's really a rapid and fluid situation that, you can't really put your finger on, and you can't say, well, it's like flu. No, because our body typically has anywhere between 5 to 1,000 different variants of the flu virus that we know how to protect against.
Couple of things, Bearded. First of all, I have heard from a few medical experts that the C19 has a high, a record-breaking infection rate, but they reckon its fatality rate is probably lower than the flu. Another thing is, any disease that's just going to pose a danger to humans has got to be really bad, because modern human beings, the amount of travel we've done in thousands of years, the amount of diseases we've been exposed to and survived, we have an incredibly resilient immune system.
Yes and no.
I was also going to say, the antibody testing, like, that's kind of a good thing. And also, I was going to ask you, because you're in the UK, how often do you guys do the flu vaccine?
I never take the flu vaccine, ever.
It's a regular thing. You're not in the UK. That's not what he was asking. It's a regular once a year for people who are considered at risk, like the elderly, the infirm.
Okay.
I've never taken it yet. I have a high resistance to viruses anyway.
Okay, so here's the thing. What we're gonna do now is, it is my wife's birthday. We've been going 3 hours. Oh. We're gonna shift to the final thing, and it's the original topic.
We're gonna sing happy birthday to your wife.
The population are now the enemy. We are. Yeah. No, we are. Wait, let me talk. We are now the enemy. We are sick of being told what to do. We will not do it anymore. And Ace, I get your concern on the medical side. I understand. But it's you and the doctors and the people that see it your way, who think you're smarter than people like me, that are pushing the government to control us, which is going to make us lash out even worse. It is a perfect storm. We are now the enemy. Yesterday, my stream was taken down because I talked about a certain event 25 years ago. I figured out that I did not hear it from YouTube. I figured out how it happened because over 5 or 6 other channels talked about the same issue, and their videos were pulled. It's a coordinated effort to silence us. This is a political issue, and it is about control. And they will lose control. They're done.
What time was it when your stream got taken down? This is important because I was watching Hard Bastard stream, and they took it down right in the middle of it.
I can answer this because I was actually looking at it. Dodge, I think I'm the one that let you know it was taken down. And right as the stream ended, it took them less than an hour to remove it for allegedly violating terms of service. At least that's what it said.
No, it
if you
said
tried to go back and rewatch
it. Content. I had no inappropriate content. We weren't showing boobs in the background or something.
Yeah, speaking of inappropriate.
I'm sorry, I was interrupting. Somebody go ahead.
No, you started first, actually.
Well, speaking of inappropriate, I just correct this real quick. I get why you're going so hard at me, because I'm the only person that's representing the medical community right now on your stream. I get why you're going so hard at me, but at the same time, I don't want you to lay down. I don't want you to fucking give up any sort of right. I've already said this. I just want you to be informed. I want you to know what the truth is over the fear-mongering and the politician.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense.
Absolutely. And my sister over in Louisiana, She is not a doctor. She is a RN, and she works at a hospital. And I've been talking to her and asking her what the other doctors and nurses are saying, and they were not worried. What they're worried about is shortage because of New Orleans. You know, because they're in central Louisiana, so they're not going to get the handouts that Shreveport and New Orleans are going to get. You know what I mean?
So
that's what they're worried about.
Like, don't like shit on the medical community, or like try to call us out because of the politicians. Fuck the politicians, 100%.
No,
we don't in the UK.
I understand if that's the way you took it. I never meant it that way. I'm saying this is a political issue. And my realm is history and politics. So what do you think I'm talking about?
No. Well, and this is the only other side piece. Is ever since fucking people went from going to the like hunter-gatherers to the tribes, there's always been a hierarchy. Fuck the hierarchy. Like, we should all be able to be individuals that can fucking do shit, but come together. Like, fuck government, fuck the politicians, fuck this stupid fucking bullshit law. Like, the hierarchy bullshit, like, fuck that. Like, I just want all of us to fucking prosper and to be healthy and happy in a medical sense.
Yeah, the hierarchy thing in humans, that's been there since we were swinging through the trees.
Well, that's pretty much what he was saying.
Literally.
Yeah, but was it?
Yeah, it was. Even extant monkeys, not apes, monkeys, even lemurs and stuff, they have a hierarchy. Or most mammals do, actually.
Well, even with bonobos, there are certain male bonobos that will grab a baby and hold on to it so that the other bigger bonobo won't beat the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the same with chimpanzees as well, by the way. But
oh yeah, absolutely.
No, hierarchies that it's hardwired into our brains, but for the most part, hierarchies have served us very well. They've helped us survive, for example. Especially the more intelligent we've got, we've put the more generally tended to support the more capable leaders. Yeah, who aren't just strong enough to beat everybody else to a pulp, but are also smart enough to keep the entire group going. So yeah, don't shit on hierarchies either, unless they're doing something obviously bad.
Well, yeah, that's why we end up. Well, unfortunately for the UK, you guys don't have the constitution like we do in the States.
We do have a kind of constitution, but it's kept in many separate documents.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it's a little more confusing to go through, but yeah, you guys do have a certain set of.
I mean, we are a constitutional monarchy.
Yeah,
but
just as America is a constitutional republic, despite morons trying to say we're a democracy. No, we're a republic.
A republic that's run along democratic lines.
Yeah.
Well, no, and I stepped away because I'm making hamburgers and French fries. It's my wife's birthday. I'm not going to make her cook.
You should be making
I see that Sherardi said in the chat, for those who are dumb, RN equals registered nurse. I really didn't think I needed to clarify that. I thought that was a given, but whatever.
And the chat has just said in the chat that bonobos are just soy boy chimps. Excuse me, smoker's cough.
Well, no, and the thing is, like Batman, everything is bad everywhere, so we have that. With the financial collapse, at least it's worldwide and not localized, or we'd be in real trouble. At least we're all going to restart on the same level. Actually, probably not. We'll probably be ahead of the world.
We're not financially collapsing yet, and
we're on our way.
If our governments are any good, we
they're
will.
The United States falls food-wise. If the United States falls food-wise and financially-wise, I mean, UK has a bit of a chance if you guys can get away from the EU for once, but...
We will be.
Dude,
our
Election has gone down, but go ahead, Batman.
our government's already preparing for a no-deal Brexit. We've told the EU there's going to be no extensions, not even the trade talks. We're leaving on December the 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've finally got a government with a fucking backbone. And Baided, you're echoing. I can hear myself through you.
Oh no, I was going back and re-listening to what Dodge said because, like, I brought up the whole medical community and all that, and you guys were like, no, you're like, no.
Oh, the medical community. Sorry, go ahead.
He tried to say that that because the medical community knows more than us, we're smarter than people like him. And this is where I brought up, like, no, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I just want you to be informed. And
yeah, that's the thing is,
he brought the hierarchy point of it. It's like, that's been around for ages. Like, I don't fucking, like, yeah, the hierarchy is a thing, but I'm not trying to say I'm better than you. Like, it has
more informed, but not better.
No, not even more informed. Like, I just know more about a certain fucking aspect. Like, he knows more about history than me. Like, fucking, if I want to ask anybody about, like, what the fuck has happened in history, I would go to Madaj. And I would hope you would do the same thing, like, to his sister or myself.
Yeah, but with the conversation being on about the current crisis, when you say that the medical community are more informed than everybody else, it means on that specific subject.
Well, no, and the thing is, though, I'm mad, okay, Ace? That's what it is.
Well,
I'm
we know
mad.
that.
My wife is put out of work until she's not, because now the governor is going to issue an executive order at the state level to allow homeless people to stay in hotels for free. So my wife will get to work, but her boss will not get paid unless the state of Oregon pays her. But homeless people, when they get free shit, they don't take care of said free shit. Like, no, everything is wrong right now. This is not my country. And I'm mad.
I agree. Like, that's absolutely fucking wrong. And by the way, I've been fucking making fucking masks for people. Like, completely free of charge. I don't give a fuck. If you say to me that you need a fucking face mask because you don't want to interact with somebody and, like, fucking, like, have to possibly interact with them.
No, and that's something, Ace. Okay, like, so I'm outside LSU hospital in Shreveport, and we went to the wrong entrance. We went to the ICU entrance. My brother, he's dated, he has a girlfriend, and her mom has stage 4 cancer. We were taking them there to see her mom, who was not doing very well, maybe dying. She ended up pulling through, that's good. But, it's still stage 4 cancer. That didn't change. But, we're standing right outside the ICU, and there's a guy with a guard, and he's got a mask, he's got gloves, and he's got hand sanitizer, right? And I walk up to him, because it's me. So, you know me. I go, wait a minute. That's the ICU, right? Yeah. Okay. Isn't this the hot spot in northern Louisiana for CVID? Yeah. Isn't that where you're keeping them? Yeah. Can I get a mask? How about some gloves? No. No was my answer. No. And then I'm like, okay, can I at least get some of that hand sanitizer? He's like, 1 squirt and do not touch it. And the fucking bodyguard stepped forward like he's gonna hit me over hand sanitizer outside a fucking hospital, dude.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, like that's just people being too fucking ridiculous. And
like, are you kidding me right now? This is what I'm saying. I'm mad. All right, I'm done. I'm done with this.
Dude, I get it.
You encountered an asshole.
But by the way, Mad
Dubs, you can still go out and still walk, yeah?
And I did get my 1 squirt of hand sanitizer, because I definitely took it, because I was trying to prove a point. So now I can't back out. When you're at that moment, it's all in or nothing.
I wouldn't have taken the hand sanitizer. I would have just said, well, never mind, and patted him on the shoulder. Because if he's not panicking about it.
Oh, if I
that
would have
freaked
touched
him out.
him, that black guy would have knocked my ass out, dude.
No. The black guy comes towards you. You got not 2 meters.
Yeah, you gotta start coughing and watch him scatter.
Oh man, I got some dog food the other day and accidentally sneezed in a PetSmart, and I swear every employee came to the aisle I was in. I was like, oh shit, sorry, it's allergies.
And they're like watching you on the camera.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have the coof. The coof.
I love to fuck with people. Like, my sneezes like towards my direction. I'm like, excuse you, did you just fucking threaten me? What the fuck?
Oh, did you see that? Those people on the bus or something?
The horrible part of this is, guys, think about this. We're heading into the height of allergy season.
No, dude, it's fucking awful in Tennessee. So bad.
Yeah. No, man, I live in Tennessee, Kentucky. Like, I literally. So,
oh, I believe you, Ace. When I landed in Louisiana, my eyes immediately turned red and got itchy. I've never had allergies before in my life. I now have allergies.
It's like people that don't even, yeah, people that don't even have them get them when they're in Tennessee. They're just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I just got off the plane. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Is that because people from outside of the state don't have the right amount of inbreeding?
No, it's some fucking.
So I live in a basin. Sorry. So it's a basin, and there's a certain type of humidity. The combination of the humidity and the type of plants that are around here just produces like this crazy pollen stuff. Yeah, it's insane.
So
it's an environmental thing rather than an allergy thing. Yeah, I get you.
Literally every day when I walk outside, fucking dude, like our car is covered with yellow because it's just all the pollen.
Yeah,
where they are, Batman, it's wet. It's real wet. Here where I am, it's dry as fuck. I live in the high desert, dude.
I live in the UK. We go through all of that. Yeah, we go through cold and damp, cold and dry. Yeah, warm and wet, warm and soaking wet, warm and dry, hot and dry. Yeah, we get all the world's fucking seasons in one day half the time. But yeah, what you're on about? Is my dad told us one of his friends when they went to Hong Kong in the army. There's the guy had been all over the world. Then he goes to Hong Kong.
You live in Eastern Washington?
No, I live in the United Kingdom. But
yeah, who's been out there? Like they know they literally go through all the season and within like 2 fucking hours.
Yeah, I've been told it's a lot like the UK, weather-wise. Sometimes the rain goes sideways.
It actually rains more in Tennessee than it does in Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, like I said, sometimes in the UK the rain's going sideways.
I'm actually planning on making a trip soon. Well, soon whenever this coof is over.
That's the thing. You know, from what I've been hearing, like Australia, the United States, and down in the south of the United Kingdom, police are going crazy. But where I live, the police are being sensible.
Well, actually, yeah. Where I am, they don't. Everybody is walking. Nobody's like getting close to each other. Everybody's doing social distancing, so we're not really being fucked with.
Yeah, I mean, the other day I had a chat with a couple of coppers when I was out for my daily walk. I mean, they're on the other side of the road, but still, I had a pleasant chat with them.
Hey, well, there you go. I mean,
well, that's good. I saw that one video.
You can't be just cooped up in your house, and I think that's kind of what Dodge was on about was, the overreach of certain government, like. Well, and Batman, you got to think like I don't know. Do you guys? Do your counties like the laws change in between?
No.
They're all
the only time the laws change in the UK is if you cross the border into Scotland.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and then like you basically got to go armed.
Well,
no, but seriously, they do have different laws.
I kept seeing seeing videos of people getting nagged at by the police because they were in their garden or whatever, their front garden, or
that's stupid.
and then the video that a little bit viral where they straight up knocked in someone's door because they thought that he had he thought that he had people over having a party, but it was just him watching loud, and like they busted his door.
There was one I saw. I think it was from somewhere in the home counties down south. This policewoman nagging at this guy because his kids were in the garden, just enjoying the sunshine. And she was right against the fence, going on about social distancing. He goes, "Well, look at you. You're almost within 2 meters of me. You could catch it as well. Hell, you might have it, and you're spreading it to my kids." And he took her.
You guys saw the video of Homie on the beach when the cop was trying to chase Homie down there in LA, I think it was. And the jogger, he just picks up speed and books out as the cop. Okay. But isn't that breaking their own rules? Like, why are you going to tackle the guy? What if he has the coup?
What about the paddleboarder? Like, dude is out in the middle of the goddamn by himself.
There's nobody there.
What's he gonna give it to? Some fish?
Right? Little Nemo's gonna end up being like, "Dad, I got the coup."
And a word of advice to pet owners. I'm being serious here. If you have a cat, it's advisable to keep them in because, as you know, cats can catch the common cold and flu from humans. They can also catch this as well.
That's what they're saying.
It's actually true.
Is it true?
Yeah, because cats can catch common cold. They can catch flu. They can catch this as well.
Well, is it the same for dogs, or is it just cats?
It's just cats as far as I know, because dogs can't catch cold or flu for humans. And is Meme's dead?
I don't see him.
I do.
Well, I mean, I see him. I see him down there. He's muted.
So dogs can actually catch.
I have a bird and a cat, and they're both little pains in the ass. My cat,
dogs can catch the common cold, but they're not as susceptible to the flu. So it affects their RNA differently than it affects our DNA. And the RNA versus DNA, and this is one of the things that we're realizing with this disease is it's more affecting our RNA versus our DNA.
Well,
and when we're talking about that, we're talking about
It's exactly the RNA, and that's part of the COVID thing. Going back to that, the RNA has snake and bat. Go ahead.
Because common colds and flu, they utilize our DNA rather than RNA, correct?
Yeah.
That's the big difference.
This is way out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah. This is why when we talk about the flu and how common the flu is, and we know those different mutations, where our immune system has those automatic biological agents that fight against it, it's because of the DNA. It jumped from RNA versus DNA. Now, with this disease, it's affecting more of the RNA that is affecting the DNA.
Yeah, RNA is the stuff is the molecule that cells use to build DNA, correct?
Correct.
Right.
No, this is all really interesting, but honestly, we just hit 3 hours, 30 minutes, and it's my wife's birthday. I gotta go, guys.
Oh, tell her happy birthday.
Yeah, well, we gotta sign off. Last thoughts.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mrs. Mudd.
Happy birthday.
Oh, no, she says thank you. She's not gonna go on the mic because she's a snob like that, but, you know.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't associate with your friends either.
I don't blame her.
If I was your wife.
Yeah.
But no, any last thoughts, guys? And, hey, Ace, I get bombastic all the time. No hard feelings, dude.
Yeah, no hard feelings at all.
I've actually got a sensible thought for a change. Just approach the entire situation with common sense. Keep yourself, keep your family safe.
Exactly. And, hey, Tell that wife happy birthday, and you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah,
Most
absolutely,
importantly-
guys. Like, I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna finish cooking her birthday dinner because it's her birthday, so I'm cooking. So it's hamburgers and French fries because I'm a man, and you know what else am I gonna cook besides steak? I can't- I'm not Gordon Ramsay over here, but good night, good luck. Hey guys, we did get our video stricken down yesterday. You saw it live tonight. They took it down twice and then put it back up. Something fishy is going on. It's not a conspiracy theory at this point. When you have facts, it's not a theory.
YouTube is a very leftist organization.
I'm just saying, when you have facts, it's no longer a conspiracy theory. It's conspiracy fact. You know, conspiracy is actually a charge that you can be charged with and arrested. Conspiracies are a thing, people. But hey, I am glad we gained over 7-8 subscribers last night on a stream that YouTube took down within 45 minutes. I call that a win for me.
Yep.
All right. I'm glad you guys
Not
like
bad.
the new format, and we're gonna keep doing it. We're right back at it. Let's get this going. We're ramping up for the election year. I also got Vampire the Masquerade. We have the World War I stream. We're branded with Exiled Opinions. They do the drinking game. We got a lot of stuff going on over here, guys. So hit like, share, and most of all, thank you for fucking listening to our dumb asses. We appreciate it. Stay safe, people. We're
Don't
out,
subscribe
I
if
think.
you haven't. Hey, Bearded, I don't know how true this is, but I have seen on a few scientific YouTube videos that there are viruses out there that, while they may infect an animal's body, they don't actually do it to to reproduce in that body. They do it because they hunt other viruses.
Okay, well, I'm going to make that the last words right there because you were addressing somebody, and I'm hitting end on the YouTube side here. So,
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. So what do you say to that, Bearded? Is that
I
right?
thought
Or
you
is
already
that...
hit end.
Is Matt
So did
still
I.
here? Wait, Matt, are you still here? Did you end it?
Yeah,
I
he's
think he
still...
ended.